Not much, man. What's going on with you? Thanks for fucking hopping in a little earlier than planned. I'm such a fucking moron, dude.
It's funny. It's funny. I don't remember exactly what you had said, but the wording that you had used in like the previous texts gave me like a little bit of, oh no, I think he thinks we're going pretty soon, dude. And then I was like, all right. Then to test it, I was like, all right, dude, see you in a few hours. And nope.
That was good wording on there. That was good.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was just like, oh God. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well,
nice to meet you, Bill.
It's nice to meet you, Anthony. Thank you for being on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, totally, dude. I'm actually a fan.
Oh, right.
Fuck yeah.
A new fan. I've only listened to a few episodes, but once Joseph hopped on there and I enjoyed that episode, I started digging around a little bit. And,
fuck yeah.
And the most recent one, actually, I got through the whole thing and loved it. So
nice. Hell yeah.
Guys.
Is that the one with Danny?
I think Danny and Arissa.
It was a lot of fun. Is it Alyssa?
Yeah,
Arissa. Yeah.
It's hard for us too. Yeah. I don't even know if I spelled her name right on the title of the episode, but we're going with it.
Yeah, dude. But no, it was actually... Danny seems like a dude I'd like to hang out with. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
But your recollections of that show during that episode, I was totally like, oh, dude, I fucking need to get back out there. Which actually tonight I am. So
nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Who are you gonna go see?
Cartilage, Ontogeny, and Bong Father.
Oh fuck, that's so.
I quickly did a search of Bong Father to see if I could find anything, and it just came up with a bunch of pictures of dads hitting bongs.
Sick though, that's cool. Bong Father.
So, but I mean, at whatever time I was digging, I couldn't find like a link for an MP3 or anything on YouTube. So it's like,
be great if you get there and it's 30 minutes of fathers just hitting bongs, and you're like, oh, this was it. Okay, all right.
It's like I should be in this band because I fit perfectly.
Yeah, dad that hits a bong. Fuck yeah, man.
But yeah, no, any excuse to go out and see Ontogeny, dude, and
oh
to
man,
come back,
if I had the chance, dude, forget about it.
Insane, dude. It's insane. Yeah, they opened all the California dates on the Severed tour that I did. Oh, and I wish they were with us that whole time, dude, because they were one of those monster bands that make you like, oh, okay, I got to be on my shit tonight, because they're opening the show and they're fucking just shredding faces.
Yeah, dude, they're killing it.
So hard. That's and
awesome.
They're always on point too. So it's just like, that they're a serious band, and when you got a serious band opening the show, everything else has to be on point,
Fuck yeah. Well, sick, dude. Should we start then?
Yeah.
All right. Let me introduce you then. We'll do that because we do all the other shit post edit. But what's up, everybody? It's me.
And me.
And we're here with another episode of Nothing's for No One, featuring our guest from Odious Mortem, Severed Savior, and the Cali Death Podcast, Mr. Anthony Trapani. Am I saying that right?
It's okay if everybody gets it wrong, dude. It's Trapani or Trapani. You go over there. There's some dialects use Trapani.
I like Trapani.
My name's been butchered my whole life, dude, so I just take everything.
Well,
the worst ones are like Trampanzy. It's like, dude, there isn't even a Z or an M.
Yeah.
Trying extra hard.
Or an S. Where are you seeing all that shit? Yeah.
Back in the day when the cold calls or the salespeople is Mr. Joe Trampanzy home. And you're just like,
yeah. Yo, what up?
Calling my dad and shit like Trampanzy. It's like two insults in one name.
Yeah, right.
A tramp and a pansy.
Yeah, I guess so. I almost think chimpanzee when I hear it too.
Oh, there you go.
That's just because of my head, and
Joe Chimpanzee. That'd be a sick name.
Stage name.
Yeah, dude. Dude, wild man. Dude, are you wearing your Mersey, dude?
Yeah, dude, I'm repping.
That's
I always
awesome.
gotta rep as much as I can.
That's so cool. Those jerseys are so sick, man.
Yeah, dude, he's doing a cool thing. He's kind of like building a community / team of musicians. All of his homies that he's either played with or been on, just friends with throughout the time that we've been doing this, you know, and it's pretty cool. It's like waking up some people and pulling us back together. Like we've spread out so many years, and now, dude, we got and the Murray fucking shout out. He's a bass player of Severed Savior. He's been in the band since the beginning, even since before they were called Christ Denied back in the day. Yeah, dude, super cool. Fucking a big brother of mine. Like he did so much for us, and he's such a blessing to me. So to be able to rep this whenever I can is
hell yeah. Shout out Murray, dude.
Shout out Murray, dude. I hope he watches this because he's a Cali Death podcast super fan, dude. He's in every episode. And I love it. He's like in it, watching it, and fucking interacting on YouTube, interacting on the socials.
Hell
yeah, dude. So
it's such a sick show, and you guys like. I wanted to talk about that too because you guys just got Derek Roddy on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is like how fucking insane is that, man?
Dude, I mean, I'm sure you could see how excited I was.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you started talking about Black Seeds of Vengeance, because that's exactly what I would have wanted to ask him, like right off the bat. So like for you to start it off like that, I was like, ooh, this is about to get good. And you know, I hit my little pipe and had a.
It's definitely a good get because I know who Derek Roddy is.
I know, right?
You do. If he's on my radar, then he's good. Yeah.
So that's mainly because of Casey. You know, he had been touched with Derek over the years. I mean, they had been out of touch, but it was one of those coincidence things where Casey, one of his colleagues recently he'd been in touch with, was also friends with Derek and linked them back up. And Casey, within 2 messages, Derek's like, yeah, dude, I'm in. And we're just like,
oh, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Derek Roddy's coming on the show now, dude.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And I mean, I said it to him many a times, but that, I mean, when I think of the death metal drummer, his name's always the first one that pops up in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And with Black Seeds of Vengeance, that was also one of those turning point albums for me because the show that I was trying to bring up to him in the episode, which he actually, I learned quickly that he didn't play that show, never even played live with Nile.
Yeah.
I was only about 16 years old, and it was at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, and it was Cradle of Filth, Nile right below them. I think I'm missing a 4th band still. I should have looked it up if I was going to bring it up again, but God Forbid was also that was my first introduction to God Forbid and Nile in the same night. I was there for Cradle.
Sure.
And
wow, what a fucking crazy
lineup,
tour, dude.
It was a weird, but it fit my style, what I would become. You know, like I'm in this early metal stages of my life, but I eventually, love it all and take it all in. I love.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, to see 3 bands like that, like that had such a diverse background.
God Forbid, dude, and dude, God Forbid it blew me away, dude. And a dude went out on a stretcher, and I'm like, okay. that was like, okay, that first fucking set of the night, and I was just like, oh, dude, this is serious. And then Nile gets up there, and I had no idea who Nile was before then.
Oh shit! Well, they were touring on Black Seeds then, you said?
Yeah,
that's fucking insane, dude.
And I'm watching, fans come out of the crowd to want to talk to Nile on the side of the stage at that venue, and people showing tattoos of Nile shit. Wow. And I'm just like, oh, dude, okay, this is somebody that we're gonna have to pay attention to.
Oh yeah.
And it was fucking that Black Seeds lineup with Dallas and fucking everybody just Carl all up in my face, dude.
Hell
just
yeah.
I literally call that like a turning point in my metal life because I was listening to more of like the mall metal stuff and and Cradle and Cannibal, like anything I could find still in like a commercial CD store. The most extreme shit that you could find in those. So yeah, dude. And then Nile, and you're just like, oh, dude, there's Egyptian metal.
Yeah, dude. I mean, my introduction, Nile was a big turning point for me too. Like I was talking about on your show, but way later down the line. You know what I mean? Like 2 records later.
Annihilation, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one you mentioned? Yeah,
that was
just a killer fucking record.
Oh my God, it's so good. But when that dropped, like that was like my head explosion moment. But that's so funny. You want to hear a funny story about God Forbid, dude? So like Alex and Max from Warforged, they're brothers, and they're both like well over 6 feet tall. They're really big dudes. And growing up, like God Forbid was like their favorite band. They loved God Forbid. They would go see them all the time. They've seen God Forbid like 9 or 10 times or some shit like that. And they still to this day have always said like, yo, if there's ever a God Forbid reunion, like, they've even talked about they're like, if we're on tour and it happens, like we're going home for a day. Or like they're like, we're gonna fly out to go to the show and then fly back to meet up on the tour.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, but I don't want to be left with the fucking van responsibilities. Like,
right. You have a couple other members with you. You'll be fine. It's not just you. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's just funny. But anyway, back in the day, like they would talk to the God Forbid guys, and their drummer, Corey, ended up coining the nickname for them as the Twin Towers because they're both so tall. Like, that's the motherfucking Twin Towers. So every time you would see him, like Corey would go up to them and be like, yo, it's the Twin Towers, because they loved God Forbid. So it was really, really sick that they got to do that. Awesome. And Max has all this sick, like old school God Forbid merch that's like his mom's converting it into a God Forbid quilt. Sick. Which is really sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. All his shirts.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty fucking
That's
cool.
actually dope.
Yeah, man. It is really cool.
I actually got some old band shirts that actually I had an old Black Dahlia shirt that was just so beaten to shit because I bought it at a show in like 2002.
Yeah,
and
holy fuck.
Or whatever, 3 or whatever when Unhallowed was coming out, maybe or latest
long time ago. Yeah.
And my wife had repurposed it and turned it into like a little chick tank top and ended up selling it for like $50.
Oh, nice. Sure. Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
You're like, dude, she mangled the t-shirt up and sold it for twice as much as I bought it.
Dude,
fucking in 2003.
Old death metal merch is such a fucking hot commodity these days, dude. Like, especially like, I think because band merch has become so popular in streetwear fashion too. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I've been seeing, you see Kim Kardashian wearing a fucking Cannibal Corpse long sleeve, and everybody's pissed about it. But then at the same time, it's like, yo, think about all the kids that are going to see that shirt and then go on the internet and look up Cannibal Corpse. Or even if they don't like the band, they'll be buying a Cannibal Corpse long sleeve. That's money.
Please give metal community more money. Yeah, go for it.
Either way, there's some type of support.
I'll take it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and it's just crazy to me to see that, like, there's these apps like Depop and shit like that, and there's another really popular one, The Exchange, I think, and it's it's all streetwear shit, but you'll see like I'll see old death metal shirts and long sleeves like sell for well over like $200 sometimes. It's insane.
It's so insane,
dude. Like on the episode that's coming out this coming Monday, we had Bill's buddy Al on the show, and he has like an OG Vital Remains to Christianize hoodie, like a pullover hoodie. Dude, it's sick as fuck. It's just the album cover, and then the picture on the back is like the back of the CD where it's got all 3 of the band members in like armor and shit. But I was like, dude, if you put that on the internet, you could probably make like $300 off of that. No lie.
Watching that, I think we might have talked about it, but watching that shit live with Glenn Betton at the Pound in San Francisco.
Yeah. I bet that was fucking insane, man. I've never gotten to see him with them, but
he had a mask on and he had the spiked
armor and shit. Gauntlets.
Just one side with like 6-inch spikes coming out. Sick.
And was he playing an instrument at all, or was he just doing vocals?
Just the front man.
That's so sick, man. I just saw Deicide. Like, me and Alex went like a month ago. We saw them, and Glenn Benton just walked on stage with like track pants on and like and like a black t-shirt,
ultra comfortable.
Yeah,
he's like, fuck it,
and a black t-shirt,
totally in retirement mode,
and it was like
retirement is around the corner. Dude.
Yeah, and he wore a really like it was a really interesting necklace he had on. Like, it looked satanic to some degree.
He had to
but like,
put something on. Yeah.
I'm like imagining like fucking like a mobster in a tracksuit with a fucking pentagram necklace.
Like E-Block dude, like rocking some
Tony Soprano with an upside down cross branded into his forehead. Yo, listen here, we're gonna play fucking Legion, we're gonna play fucking Once Upon a Goddamn Cross, something like that. No, but
I would be at that show if that were the
case. Dude,
totally.
He was saying some goofy ass shit though. Like he was definitely being like talking about how much he hates the news. He's like, fuck the news. I'm an old guy. I just like to watch cartoons all day. If I see the news, turn it off. He's like, this one's called Scars of the Crucifix. Yeah. Like, dude, sick, man. I don't know what.
You're like, cool.
Yeah, you know.
Old man yells at
very interesting. Great. Well, now I guess their one of their new guitar players is like a rep from a guitar company that you know. Yeah, Max knows who it is, and he's like, Bill would know who it is. This guy does like YouTube demos all the time. It's like a bald dude. He might be like a Jackson rep or something like that. Max would know. We'll find out. I'll
ask him later. I probably know who it is.
It was just like, it was really interesting seeing. I mean, it was sick, like seeing Deicide. It's always
yeah.
But like seeing them at this day and age, dude, and him in that getup was just so like, this is the shit, dude.
Yeah,
like he literally looks like he's just so comfortable.
That was actually, I mean, if we're talking about one more, I don't want to go death metal the whole time on this.
Man. Dude,
because I've listened enough to know that Bill doesn't really like too much death metal talk. Okay.
I know so far so good. I know most of what you guys are saying. I'm not totally out of the loop. We're doing good.
We'll stick in the classics. But my first show at the pound that we always talk about in San Francisco, which was our sanctuary, you know, like really like molded me into the metalhead that I am today.
That's awesome.
And I really think that those places are important for a lot of scenes, you know. You don't have a central point where everybody can converge. It makes it more difficult. But it was Morbid Angel Deicide doing a 2-night thing at the pound, and each night had different openers, but one night was Slint Green Dragon Lord, which is Eric from Testament's symphonic black metal band.
I've heard of Dragon Lord.
Yeah, and then Deicide and Morbid Angel headlining, and that was another huge download to my brain of what live metal was all about, you know?
Yeah.
Soylent Green, dude. Soylent Green, never another band that I just fucking never was in tune with at all, and then I see it in a live setting. I mean, think about a band for both of you guys that you fell in love with the moment you saw them, and only a live setting. You never heard any of their music before, and then you fell in love during that set.
Oh, man, there's been so many bands over the years. I'm gonna have to like really.
Oh, I know mine right away.
What is it?
Mudvayne.
Oh yeah,
I saw him at Congress Theater opening for Slipknot, and it was like a month or two before LD50 came out. So nobody knew who the fuck they were.
Damn.
They opened before Dope. Like Dope was direct support, and I just remember like me and my buddies were like, "This band's fucking sick. This opener, like, who the fuck is this?" Like, they just crushed.
That's sick.
Dope. Sorry, not a fan. Still not a fan, even though I tour with them. They're great dudes. I love them all.
To follow Mudvayne in the LD50 era or pre-LD50.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then next thing you know, the album dropped.
That's one that sits outside of new metal for me just a little bit. It's still attached, but there's something else. There's something way more sophisticated and complex about that album than most of the new metal that was going on
for sure.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely, as far as like the new metal thing goes, they're like the more technical group of like new metal.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's mainly just because of the rhythm section. Like Ryan Martini and Matt McDonough, like just crush. And there's somewhere out there is a project that Matt McDonough, the drummer, did that's like a death metal project. And I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
There's also like a crazy jazz project that the bass player's been into for a while. I forget what it's called, but
I sent it to you the other day.
Yeah, you did send it to me the other day. Fuck, what was that?
And he still slaps that fucker hard, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sounds like him, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, what is it called? I just sent it to you yesterday because he posted a weird video of him. I don't know if you've seen it, but like it's Ryan
Soften the Glare.
Soften the Glare. That's it. He's on like a motorcycle, but with like a blue screen in the back.
Yeah.
And just ripping. It's so bizarre. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
That's fucking wild, man. So sick.
Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. What about you, Jason? Think of
dude, I'm trying to think of like a band that I saw live that I never heard of before, but then saw them at the show and fell in love. Like, cause I was always such a nerd back in the day that like I would look up all of the bands before I would go to shows.
Prepared when you showed up.
Yeah, I was all about that. But you know what I will say was probably the Mars Volta for me was that that band. Because way back in the day, one of my the first shows it was definitely the first metal show I ever went to, but it was System of a Down when I was in 7th grade, I think. I was 12 or 13, very young. And I saw them. They had just put out Mesmerize, the first in that Mesmerize Hypnotize double album thing. And they were doing a tour with Mars Volta as direct support in that band Hella. Do you remember them at all? They were like a math rock band.
Hella from Sacramento.
Yeah. They were opening, dude, and they played the fucking All-State Arena.
Makes sense with Mars Volta too.
Yeah, which is so. I mean, imagine singing math rock like that in an arena,
like a noise
rock band. And at the time,
a lot of confused people, dude.
At the time, I was one of them. I didn't understand.
It probably just sounded like pure noise.
Yeah, I was just like, this is shit, and I hated it. And not until 5-6 years later, I was in high school. Not even that much later, probably 4 years later in high school. I remember that band coming up again, and I was like, yeah, I saw them. And then I went back and listened to them, and I was like, with a little bit more of a developed taste in music, and I was like, fuck, this is so sick.
And you probably listened to them at the time where they brought in the vocalists. Like I started listening to that band when they were just an instrumental band. It was Zach and the guitar player.
Yeah. No, they did have a vocalist at this show.
But I can't remember any of the fucking album names right now. But it's if you go back in time in their discography, there's some really, really killer fucking math rock shit that I was listening to at the same time as like Don Caballero.
Fuck yeah, they rule.
Dysrhythmia.
Yep, Dysrhythmia rules. I've seen
the
them
whole
multiple
Octopus.
Times. Yeah,
that's a band that definitely
all that. I lump all totally that. The whole Octopus.
Dysrhythmia. Because you dragged me out to like a show.
I didn't drag you out to a show.
Or maybe it was Eddie.
You went to that show before I was 21. I couldn't even go. At Ultra Lounge.
Somebody dragged me out to it, and they're like, "I think you're gonna like it." And I was like, "This is like the shit."
Yeah,
it was the shit.
Yeah,
I did to see Dysrhythmia once. They opened it was a tour where Cynic was doing all the Focus front to back.
Okay,
nice.
And
I did see Dysrhythmia with
Intronaut was
somewhere
direct
else.
support, and then Dysrhythmia was. I think we played with Dysrhythmia, maybe. I don't fucking remember, man.
It was a Reggie show. I know that.
Dysrhythmia was a separate project when I got into them, and then you find out that Gorguts knows about them too and brought those.
Oh yeah.
It was really sick.
All in, and I forget the guitar player,
dude,
but
Kevin Huffnagel.
What a great matchup! Dude.
Oh my god, dude!
Hell yeah,
yeah, so good, and he's such a sick guitar player, and he's such a sick dude, man. He did a guest solo on the Warforged album. Kevin, it's like we love his guitar work so much. Like one day we hit him up on Facebook, and he like messaged us back right away. He's like, "Yeah, I'm down." And like I was just like, "Holy fuck!" In my head, I'm just like, "What the fuck?" But I'm like, "Yeah, all right, cool, man." Like
gotta be cool. Gotta be cool.
And he recorded the solo in like a day and sent it back to us. It's a solo that's on.
He's a professional.
Eat Them While They Sleep, but it was so because he sent it back so quick that I was just like, man, what if this like isn't good? And then I heard it like that was definitely a thought running in my head.
Sure, yeah.
And I played it back and like literally like halfway through, I was just like, this is perfect.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was like, I want nothing changed. It's so good. And like I sent him this long ass message after, just being like, this is so fucking cool, dude. You don't know how sick this is. Like he's like, yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, like, a free afternoon.
Yeah, and then when we played with Gorguts, when Roman Ring opened for Gorguts, I went up to him at that show. I was like, yo, I'm in Warforged. You did a guest solo, and we ended up talking for like an hour or two.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. He's a very cool dude.
So at that System show, you said was Mars Volta the first introduction that day too?
I had heard The Widow on Q101, which was the alternative rock station in Chicago at the time, and that song was all over the radio. And I liked that song, but I didn't know much about that band. But at that point in my life, I was already pretty big into prog rock. Like I really liked Rush. I really liked King Crimson. So seeing them live, I wasn't really expecting that because The Widows, that was like the single on that album. That's the one song that's under
commercial.
It's not a 10-minute adventure. It's like a very straightforward song. So seeing them play these like crazy songs live, I was just like, this is nuts.
Sounds like a whole nother band.
Sick. Yeah. And then it wasn't even until later I ended up really getting into them. But I remember seeing them at that show and being like, this is nuts. Like I remember.
Yeah, they have a sick show, dude. And I saw them at the Greek in Berkeley, and they had 7 or 8 different banners of just sick fucking artwork, dude.
Oh, and sick.
Periodically throughout the set, just one would drop, and then there'd be another sick ass fucking piece. And you're just like, and it kind of almost like if you really put it all together, like, they planned it out to where this is the mood of the next few songs drop. This is the mood of the next few songs drop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool that they did that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's like 6 or 8 dudes on stage just fucking
ripping. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's cool, And the
vocalist, what's his name?
Cedric Bixler Lavala.
Yeah, he gets down, dude. He gets all fucking weird. He starts petting himself like a cat and shit.
Yeah, he is pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, that was so long ago, but that was definitely one of those moments where I was just like, holy fuck, like, I didn't realize.
Like, this is that.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was just like, and that was pretty much one of the first, probably the first time ever I really experienced a band live that I didn't really know. Because that was only like the second show I had ever been to in my life at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The first show was awesome. Like a few years before I was in 4th grade. It was Good Charlotte, Less Sick. Than Jake, and Newfound Glory at USC, at the USC Pavilion.
Oh,
downtown.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, and I was in 4th grade, and I thought I was such a fucking hard ass motherfucker. Yeah, my friend's dad took us. It was me and my friends in school, and my friend Graham, his dad, ended up taking us, and it was.
Did he have a good time?
I think so. Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he probably liked Good Charlotte back then, but he stuck it out for us, which was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's all you can ask for.
But yeah, so at that point, I knew those bands. When I was going into it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody blindsided you? Like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, dude, I didn't realize that was coming.
What about like on tour? I'm sure you ran some bands.
Tons of times on tour.
Good openers. Yeah, that's a good
times
one.
on tour where I've seen so many sick bands. I can already think of 18. Dude, there's a band in Arizona called the Presser God that we played with twice. Once in Kingman in their hometown, and then once in Vegas we played with them. And their drummer at the time, I don't think he's in the band anymore, but he was like, he was so fucking good and clean and tight, and like, it was like, you saw him and I was like, damn, this dude could be playing with like some heavy hitters. Like, if he wanted to, he could probably play with some heavy hitters. And I was just like, fuck, I didn't expect this band to like come out the gate swinging that hard. Like, they were really heavy and catchy. And then we played a show in Colorado Springs on our first tour with Inferi. And we played with this band called April Mist, who's really fucking sick. They're like an atmospheric black metal-y, kind of like a Death Heaven type band. Like, they have that type of shoegazy black metal sound, but I love that shit. So that was awesome. Cool. That was another time where I bought a bunch of their merch at the show. Nice. Yeah, I was fucked up, but I was just like, yeah, this is so sick. It's like, that was one of those shows where we literally played in the only thing I know about Colorado Springs is that Corey Taylor has a house there. That's all I know about it. Yeah.
Fuck, I've been there a few times.
Because he's had shit from Zounds shipped to him there. Sometimes, like, when I'm at work and I'm bored, I'll look up like celebrity metal musicians and see if they've placed orders with us, dude.
See who's behind on their payments.
Yeah, Mark Holcomb from Periphery sent Corey Taylor over. I shouldn't even be saying this. Like, I don't give a fuck. Mark Holcomb from Periphery sent over Corey Taylor. Yeah, that was years before he even worked there. But he sent over Corey Taylor a pair of in-ear monitors.
Sick.
I was like, you kiss-ass motherfucker, dude. Like, what are you trying to sweet-talk Corey Taylor Periphery tour with Slipknot? Yeah, it was really funny.
Drunk merch purchases, dude. As soon as you said that, I was like, fuck, dude, there's definitely been shows where I showed up with way too much cash.
Oh, my God.
I knew that. I wanted a shirt from at least 3 different bands, and then you go there and you realize, oh, dude, they got fucking side project CDs.
Yeah, everything is
go have another beer, and you're like, I'm not going to get it. And then you have that beer, and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, you sound like me, dude. That's exactly what I do at every show I go to. Like, Deicide had such sick merch at that show. I was like, man, I don't even have any Deicide merch. I should just pick up a bunch. And like, one shirt leads to 2, leads to me being like, I really have to contemplate if I'm going to get a CD. And then I get a CD.
It's like one of those bad, like, old 90s movies where like the guy gets drunk, wakes up next to like a gnarly chick or something. But instead you guys, it's like all this merch. You're like, oh no.
But at least it's kind of sick. Like, because you're like, it's not a total awesome waste,
It's way more supportive though.
You're supporting the band. So it's a good thing.
Oh, dude, believe me. Being on tour and you hit those little pockets where everybody wants to buy merch, you're like, fuck yeah, dude, this is just enough to get us fucking to the other side of the country.
The nights where, when we get those nights where we do well, it's like the best feeling in the world when you're
you don't have to order off the dollar menu.
Well, it's just sick to be like, walk out of a show with like a lot more hundreds of dollars than you were expecting walking out with, So that is definitely a good feeling.
It's just few and far between when you're doing 30 days in your odious mortem.
I hear you, dude.
Dude, we were talking about it. It's like the coasts always are good to us, but once you get into the deep middle of America, it's really hard to scrape. You're living on granola for a few days. Fucking gas station food. And,
I know. Yeah, dude.
But then you look back on it. You look back on it and you're like, oh, dude, that was one of the best months of my life.
You know? Oh, hell yeah.
It shaped me as a human. Like those trials and tribulations are actually way good in hindsight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They are for sure, man.
It builds brotherhood too, you know?
Oh, yeah. The chemistry within your band and it definitely does. It definitely does. We're bougie though. We always go out to eat on tour. I always go out to eat on tour. Not everybody in the band does, but like me and Max will always get down on food. We'll be like, yo, where's the sick fat guy spots at?
Because that's the best though. Yeah,
I like to peruse the local fast food cuisine. And like, we're in California. We're going to stop at In-N-Out because everybody in Warforged loves, except me. I like In-N-Out. I'm not insane about it. But like the other guys in the band are like, we have to go to In-N-Out 8 times.
That whole, In-N-Out's amazing to me, but at the same time, I don't want to fight for it because one, it's fucking fast food.
Right.
So it's like, I try and like keep a healthy lifestyle as much as I can. So that I'll never ever be like, oh dude, In-N-Out fucking kills this and that. I'm just like, if I'm going to go have a fast food burger, that's the number one choice, but I'm from California.
Yeah. But that's
Shake Shack's actually dope too. But it's like when people are like religious about it, and it's funny because you look underneath the cup at it In-N-Out, it's got like, it's just like 316. They're sneaking like religious shit.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know they were like. They're like.
They don't go as far as like Chick-fil-A closing on Sundays and shit, but they definitely like subliminally fucking.
Yeah, dude.
It's like if I opened up my burger and the onions were fucking branded with like a fucking Bible verse or some shit.
Yeah, you see a little
cross in the burger.
Just hide it. It can't be in plain sight, but it's there, dude.
Yeah, dude. Man, Chick-fil-A.
But they got the palm trees, so I got to be down with the palm trees.
Yeah, that is true. I like the palm trees.
It's like burgers and fries, dude. That whole fucking like the East Coast versus the West Coast. Like I've never had a White Castle burger. I've never had a Wada burger, so I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
But, so I can't.
Dude, I've had them all, and they're all good. I do think they're all good.
I'm down with like a fucking, if it's right, a $20 burger at a brewery with a few beers, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's the burger that I'll fuck with.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, there's tons of spots out here like that. We got Kuma's out here, Kuma's Corner, which is like one of the biggest like
revolution
metal like bar burger spots in
what is it called?
Kuma's Corner.
Oh yeah, dude! I think they had a Severed Savior burger at one point.
They definitely did. Yeah, I'm sure they definitely did. But like, yeah, dude, that place is.
I check out their menu. They always have the Slayer burger.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that shit is.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm down with like going out and fucking having a few like real good beers on tap, and like somebody who put some fucking thought into a burger. You know.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's still a burger in the end of the day, but like a gourmet fucking pick that bitch up and just know that you're about to bite into deliciousness.
Yeah, that is true. Man, I'm such a fat guy that I think like when we're on tour, dude, and I go to these local fast food places, one of the thoughts in my head, one of the biggest ones is like a fantasy I'll just play out because either I'm just so baked that I'm just like, I'm going to ride this out, or I'm just like bored, but I'll be like, man, what if I lived here and this would be a local fast food place to me? And I like judge it on that. I'm like, would I get this a lot if I lived here? Would I not get this a lot? Yeah, that's how Del Taco got so low on my fucking list. But
there's too many good taquerias and shit around me to
I know.
Hit those types of spots, dude.
I'm sure there are
really good, more traditional style taquerias that are just scattered all over.
Well, we got
South San Francisco's got a big Latin community, so it's like you go every block has got just you just follow the smell, dude, and you're gonna find a place that's got $2 tacos that'll blow your mind.
Yeah,
you know?
Fuck yeah, I love that shit, dude. We have some spots like that, like in Pilsen and on the south side and shit.
I mean, there's tons of spots like that
out here. Yeah, we got some all right ones, man. But I love California, and you're in. So, are you in Santa Cruz?
No, I'm about an hour and 15 minutes north on on the coast though.
Man, California's so big.
Yeah, I'm like
so
20 minutes
fucking big, dude.
About 20 minutes south of the San Francisco area. Yeah, it's literally one city between us and San Francisco.
Yeah. Damn, that's awesome though.
I dude just grew up on the coast my whole life.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to, where I'm at is a good place to have a family. You know, I had a great childhood, so I wanted to give that to my kids. I got lucky before the crazy boom, the tech boom, like drove house prices way up, and I just got in right before that. So
wow, good for you, man.
Yeah, and Santa Cruz has all been, I literally have to drive one street to Highway 1 and then just hit Highway 1 south.
And you're fucking going to the Blue Lagoon, dude.
Yeah.
I love that place, dude. I want to get fucked up there again.
There's Moe's Alley was a good place to go for shows too. I saw a Stratosphere there, and fucking, I mean, anywhere you see a Stratosphere, they're going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
There's the Attic, which I think is also in Santa Cruz. Okay. And then the Catalyst is another good place for shows.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, dude. Santa Cruz had a little scene, dude.
That's awesome, man. We got some spots.
And we like to fucking party too. So we make a whole weekend out of it. I'm down. You go down there Friday night after work and you're coming back Sunday.
That's awesome though.
You got the partying in, you got the jamming in, you got everything in that weekend, and then you just back to fucking reality. Yeah. Sometimes I would cruise down there on weeknights too. I'd drive down, jam, and then come back, and I got pulled over by the same cop twice in one day, and he fucking let me off, dude.
Both times.
Both times.
Wow.
Even the second time. I was like, you're a fucking saint right now, dude. All I'm doing, it's like 1:30 in the morning. All I'm trying to do is get home because I got to get up in 5 hours.
Dude, that's nuts, man. Come to Chicago. They'll give you a ticket for anything. They'll be like, you're awake at 1, even if you're not driving. They'll be like $60.
Dude, that was something that we learned too on tour was, you know, in New York, we got stuck ended up in some traffic going over a bridge that we didn't want to go over.
Oh, that's the worst shit.
And dude, so we're like freaking out. Dan Eggers is driving, and we had been driving all night and shit to get to New York. And I think he busted a U-turn somewhere where he shouldn't, and immediately, whoop, fucking cop. Or no, the cop, since it was just traffic, the cop was on foot, and he just walked up to the car. And Dan was like, sorry, dude, I've been driving all night. And he's like, don't tell me that right now. And we're like, we're just telling you the truth, officer. And he's like, yeah, but you can't tell me that because that could be a real problem for you guys. And then Dan was like, all right, dude, I'm just a little tired right now. and he was nice enough to fucking let Dan slide too. But even though it's like, fuck, dude, I guess, people take it way more seriously with the sleep thing. Because I mean, really, you compare it to drunk driving, it's almost the same.
Oh yeah, it's
if you're trying to stay on the road when you're fucking dozing, it is not a good thing.
Yeah. We rarely ever do that shit because like nobody's good at staying up in our band unless it's me, unless I'm the one that does it. Like normally, and I hate doing that. So normally we always find a way to get some sleep. Like we always prioritize it, and like. We're just early risers on the road, at least, because it's always just good. Like, you know, I would rather get up at 5 a.m. and start driving somewhere than start it at 1 a.m. and like get no sleep in the van at all. And then be stranded, you know, wherever the fuck we are in Oklahoma or some shit waiting for a bar to open up that like we can't even get inside of and shit. Like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But to each their own, of course.
All of us except for Casey were drinkers too, so that's always a hard thing to fucking plan driving off of. The night's over and you're loading out and you realize 4 out of the 5 of us are drunk. You're like, sorry, Casey, you got to get us a few more hours, dude.
Dude.
I know that all too well.
I'm the pretty much the you do know that all too well. And Roman Ring, dude, Bill is like the champion of sobriety. Especially after our show the other week, we were all so fucked up.
Oh, it was great.
Danny was like 18 drinks.
Well, dude, it's a celebration. You guys are coming back. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was a celebration.
Show back,
But it's like I was beyond fucked up. I was smoking a bong in the venue, outside the venue. Like I was high. Immediately after, as soon as we got done, like all of our shit was off stage, I ran outside and just like started ripping it. I was like, oh, I can relax. I don't like to smoke before I play usually. Like, yeah, I usually don't, just because like I could get all muddied up. I've gotten better with playing high for sure, but it's still not my favorite feeling. So I usually try and wait until after. But we were the opening band at this show, and that's like. I love that about Warforged too, because whenever we tour, we're the new guys, so we're always fucking opening. So it's like we get to do our short ass set, and then I get to party all night. You know, like,
totally, dude. I mean,
it's a sick.
Being a headliner on a DIY tour sucks, dude, because you're always getting your fucking set cut short.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Especially if you got an opening band that consistently fucking takes too long to set up their shit. You know?
Yeah.
It sets off the whole fucking night. So
that is the worst.
I think there was a date on that Severed tour where we only got to play 5 songs as the headlining band.
It sucks.
Oh, what the fuck?
It sucks.
That sucks so much.
It's just what it is with these, smaller venues and DIY tours and shit. But it's all love, you know. We're still trying to fucking get out and fucking party and play some fucking metal.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's being the opening band. It's nice because you just get your shit fucking done, and then you get to be a spectator for the rest of the night and party.
You just get to chill, relax. You know, I'm all about that. That's my favorite part. But playing's fun too. Obviously, it's the best part of the night. But,
not bad.
You know.
So you guys said that's a new spot that you guys are at. What was it? Is it a new, just like a rehearsal studio?
Yeah. So this is we're in our practice spot right now. We actually have you facing a corner of the room. It is bigger on the other side of the screen we have you on. But this is where Warforged and Roman Ring practice out of.
Nice. And it's always good to have 2 bands in one room, just so the rent's a little bit cheaper.
Oh yeah, and I'm not moving my drum kit between 2 spots. There's no fucking way I'm gonna do that.
Double duty, you got it.
There's been so many times everybody, like, people have like tried to suggest it to me, like, oh, we'll just get another, and I'm like, no, I'm not fucking.
That makes so much fucking more work.
Yeah, hell no, it's not worth it. No,
just get one of those little like what's it, cocktail kits.
Yeah, right. Shred on that. Little hi-hat, a little
sick. Hell yeah.
I saw they got like the super mini kits too now that'll like sit on the table in front of you, but you actually have pedals underneath that do.
Dude, I got to link you the video I saw where these guys tested like little travel kits, and they sounded good. They sounded so good.
Those things are cool, man. Yeah. Sonar used to make a really cool cocktail kit called the Sonar Safari Kit. I don't know if they still make it anymore, but there was a long time where I was like, damn, I'm just gonna get one and rip on it live one day. And just bust it out for like a death metal song and just fucking shred.
Wait, I gotta go over to the side of the stage for just this song.
Yeah, well, everybody, you know, in our style of death metal, people are triggering the kicks, so nobody gives a fuck. And like, I can make those snares sound cool and make the toms sound.
I mean, you tune up everything pretty well. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I saw a video, they were playing like a kids kit, like one of those cheap, like $50 kids kit, and they basically just reskinned the heads, tuned them correctly, fucking mic'd it up professionally, and it sounded amazing.
That's sick.
Like if you heard it, you were like, "Oh, this sounds like a great drum kit." Like you'd have no idea it was a little kids like shit kit.
That's fucking the advancement in technology, dude.
Yeah, man. You know, that's where we are with music, which I think is cool, personally.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's no. This is the thing, like with the Derek episode too. It's like we touched on how they used to do it and how it's done now. It's like, as with me, it always is music first. So if the music is good, I'm still going to be down. You know, I just
me too. Yeah.
And the only point I was at least making in that conversation was, I was introduced to human sounding music first. So nostalgia is always going to pull me back to that, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, so the clicky, like really, really like computerized drum sound that is pretty popular today, for some reason, it just kind of like knocks it just down a little bit for me because it feels like a robot's doing it.
Sure.
You know, I like to hear those early 90 records where you heard a little popcorn in the feet and you heard a fucking rim shot here and there.
Yeah.
It just, you know, but that's just, it's preference really. Like I also see what I mean, humans want to perfect everything, dude. So it's only natural to you know, edit in a way to make it as precise and perfect as you can, because you're also thinking about it's a piece of art that represents you. You're putting it out into the world.
Yeah, definitely.
But either way, dude, it's all. I just love that people are making shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Shit, dude. And it's very interesting you say that about like, you being rooted in that natural sound, and you're, and that's where your instincts lie. I feel like, and I don't know how it is for you, because you're a dude that listens to hip hop. I know that about you. We've talked about it briefly. Yeah. Even though I know you're really into a lot of underground shit I've probably never even heard of. But I think for me, what really helped me kind of understand it and accept it more, as far as quantizing or, whatever you want, modern production or certain modern production techniques that are used, like, you look at other styles of music, like hip hop or any electronic style of music, or like, any music that's got any type of electronic production base or even just a little bit in it. And it's like, those are questions, like those are things that just aren't even talked about in those genres as much. You know what I mean? Like people aren't like the real drums versus the fake drums, like as in metal, where it's so divisive. Like
it is.
It's so crazy to think about how hip hop, like I'll show some dudes like, like you fuck with, I'm sure, have you ever fucked with like old Kanye West stuff?
No, dude.
Okay. So none of his shit?
No. Okay. So like the popular shit that, I'm familiar with is definitely not from like today.
Okay, I gotcha.
Like when I grew up in middle school and high school, enough of the popular stuff that was going on there I'd pay attention to. But I've always been in the underground, dude. And even from like 5th grade was the first time I heard like gangster rap. And it did something to me where this is what I was going to follow for a while. I got introduced to a rap named Brother Lynch Hung from Sacramento. I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Way too young.
11 years old. Yeah.
And if you listen to his lyrics, it's all horrorcore shit. And it basically, it prepped me for Cannibal Corpse. In hindsight, I realized as well, because by the time I got to Cannibal Corpse, I was like, I was already hearing about cannibalism back then, So
so then you got that desensitization a little bit.
Yeah, it was the underground like sound from the Northern California area and LA too that really like pulled me in. But like Bone Thugs and Harmony and shit was shit that I listened to that was popular. And I understand this is another
thuggish
thing too,
ruggish
like,
bone, dude.
Kanye West. I know there's enough people. There's enough people that I respect that actually do give Kanye props in certain ways. Sure. So I'm like, okay, he definitely is up there for a reason. I just want to hear creative music, dude. So I can't fuck with the mumble rap shit because I don't even know. And it's funny, I'm a death metal vocalist who everybody says
you can't fuck with the mumble rap. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't understand what this guy's saying. Yeah. But the beats are still dope.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It was more of like the boom bap, the fucking the New York sound that really like made me start to dig into the underground and realize that America's got places all over. There's pockets that have, that hip hop.
Oh yeah.
Like mentality and the community and the, the spits, the DJs, everybody, you find out there's all these different pockets and that's what I gravitate to is like the whole communities. And then I go to find who are the dopest MCs in those communities.
Sure. I see what you're saying. The reason I brought up Kanye was because I wanted to reference him as like, he's one of those rappers who I knew really made it prominent, and especially with his production style of like pitch shifting his voice. So, he'll have songs where like a verse is in a lower voice or a higher voice. And like, I'll show that to some metal dudes and they'll be like, why the fuck do they pitch shift their voice? And I'm just like, they do it just because they can. And like, it's part of the vibe that the song's trying to create. But, it's like, I know for some guys or just some people in general, it's hard to see that because it's not something you really see in metal.
Purist point of view and very analog oriented, which I get. I mean, there is some amazing things that happen with that
stuff. I'm not that. I listen to everything.
Sure. Yeah. And I
listen to every style.
Dude, you guys, that's why I like Cali Death so much, is because like you guys are so non-pretentious about any metal shit. And it's like, so nice to just see some guys like fucking just hanging out, as opposed to guys like trying to be like these music snobs by
and we've been friends for so long. Like we've been friends for so long that I'm sure Joel's even brought it up that I've already gone through the years of being made fun of for certain things that I listen to.
Oh yeah,
you're in your, we're now older in our 30s, coming up on our 40s, some of us and shit, and it's just like we're not the same as we were in the 20s when it was more like frat boy mentality, where it's like we gotta fucking bully you because you listen to this band that has clean vocals but it really is just like that pushing you in the bushes type mentality. We're all still brothers, but that now it's like everybody listens to everything that they listen to, and I don't give a fuck what it is,
Oh yeah, I mean,
it makes you happy.
Yeah, it's like when people talk about guilty pleasures, and you're like, why should you feel guilty for liking a song? You know what I mean? Like, why should you feel guilty for liking a pop song? Like, who fucking cares? I don't care.
It comes down to, unfortunately, this comes with a lot of, human nature, but it's a lot of people move through their day based on how they think people are going to see them or see how they are, So it's, but it's really, you get older, you realize it's for yourself first, dude. It doesn't matter. If I want to wear this or that, I'm tired of defending sandals and metal. I'm gonna fucking wear it.
I love how you talk about that and like how people like even give a fuck. Because, dude, I see so many guys on tour that wear sandals all the time.
Yeah, they're
I wear Crocs,
man.
dude. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm wearing Crocs now.
I've had fans come up and be like, dude, what's up? Why are you wearing? I'm like, what is my feet? Do my feet growl?
Yeah, it's like, who fucking
are my
cares?
feet the ones that are growling?
I don't know.
No,
I think it's just
but it is. It's just what the self-image is actually oftentimes based on what you think your image is to other people, and
projection like that.
You're different to everyone. Yeah. Every single person sees you differently than you see yourself.
Absolutely.
That's also like a young man's game of like that self-image that you're trying to do. And like you said, when you get older, you're like, it's like, because you realize yourself, like you don't give a shit about the image of other people. You're like, they're doing their thing. Cool. And you eventually realize you're like,
people don't give a fuck about what I'm doing.
Nobody cares. As long as you're not fucking up anybody's day, who cares?
Exactly.
But it is like that thing where you go through that age where you're like, dude, I don't want them to know that I listen to fucking Jodeci or something like that.
Sick, dude.
Casey and JoJo.
Yeah.
Tell me it's real.
Dude, it's so funny now. Whenever I find anything musical I'm not excited about, like that I'm excited about that's not metal, I just send it to Alex immediately.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, check this out, and we'll be like, like if it's a hip hop song or a pop song or something like that, and he's always like, yeah, this is the shit.
Nice.
So I don't know. It's just fun. But anyway, like, I mean, it's just so funny to me because like I think what really got me to kind of get away from that mentality of, worrying about the production and the quantization and, really thinking about it as the forefront of it when I started getting into hip hop more, because it was sort of like, okay, to achieve something creatively, artistically speaking, why is it in metal that it's so manipulation is something that is so sensitive, it's like, I remember thinking about that a lot and just being like, I mean, for example, when Rings of Saturn years ago was under fire for all the speeding up accusations and shit like that. But it's like the heat fucking came down on that band. I mean, it was like,
it was a little much.
Everybody was saying shit.
Much.
Yeah, but it was everywhere. I mean, it was all over the internet.
And it's weird because they weren't the first people to do it.
No,
like, I don't understand like why everybody just banded together and were like, this is the band we're going after for. It's like, all right.
It was just like, it was so big at the time, and it was everywhere. It was all over metal.
Plus, I think what's his name kind of fed into it too.
Yeah, the guitar player.
Man or whatever.
Lucas Man, yeah.
But
it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, who gives a fuck? They're trying to play insane shit. Like, they're doing it this way. Why don't you just let it live? Like,
fuck it.
And
so, I mean, they have some cool stuff.
Yeah,
like, who cares how they do it? Yeah,
exactly. It's like they do it.
My argument for that though is it's like, okay, yeah, maybe they sped these things up. Maybe it's something they can't physically play at that time, or whatever.
Yeah.
But they thought of it. Like that was some sort of creation that came out of somebody's head that it's somebody bitching about it couldn't fucking come up with. So it's like, why are you bitching? Like this dude made something.
Still art, dude. I'll always call it art first, and then I don't have enough time to have these arguments that you guys are talking about.
Right? Exactly. Same, dude.
It's way more important shit going on.
I judge my decision is with my ears and my brain. If those two things aren't happy, then I'm going to move on. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it clicks, it clicks.
And there may be times where I'm like, oh, this is a little too inhuman for me to get deeper into it. But most of the time, it's just, new music. Okay, here's the real thing. I rarely dig into new music.
Sure.
And it's not, and it became a thing where you have kids and your time is different. You have a lot to it. Yourself.
Course, yeah.
And so it's like, what have I accumulated up until now? Okay. I know all that stuff. I can always rely on that. That's all there.
Of course.
Finding newer stuff is few or far between, but I still grab onto, 2, 3, 4 records a year.
Sure.
Where I'm like, oh yeah.
You're still actively listening to some new music. Well, I heard you talking about that Imperial Triumphant record on the early episodes of the show. I love that album too, man. But I remember at that time thinking, I'm like, okay, this guy's keeping up with the current shit. You keep up with current and stuff. So yeah,
I do. And it's just like, it's usually one of those perfect situations where I stumble across it. I get enough time to listen to it. It clicks with me. I get enough interest to dig more and realize Imperial Triumphant's an amazing fucking band, dude.
And
the drummer is also
take Warforged
somebody
on tour if you're listening. We have the same agent to make it happen.
Yeah, dude.
I would love that.
The drummer of that band, and forgive me for not remembering his name. I think is it Jason G something, but he is an amazing drummer too.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I know. He's played with Brand X and shit.
Yeah, dude, and he's also played with. So, are you guys familiar with any John Zorn stuff?
Vaguely, but some.
Okay, so real quick, John Zorn is a New York composer who came from a scene back in the early '80s and late '70s, early '80s, and all the way through that. He's just a madhouse of a composer. He just bleeds music, dude. He bleeds so much music that he has to start his own record label to sign bands to play all these compositions, dude.
Yeah,
in different ways and shit. So he ends up, recruiting musicians to play certain things. Well, he's got metal projects that he's been doing for years. Naked City was one of them that he did. But then Simulacrum is a group, a super group that he put together, who is Matt from the band Cleric. Do you guys know about Cleric?
I don't think so.
Check it out, dude. Okay. It is insane avant-garde.
I will. I love that type of shit, man. When you and Derek Roddy were talking, dude, last night, I got so fucking high because my girlfriend went to go have dinner at one of her girlfriend's places. So it was literally just me and my giant bear dog going on an adventure. So I got high. We took a cruise. We went to this park we weren't supposed to go to, but we went there anyway. And we smoked a joint. And you know what I listened to, dude? That newest Virus album, because you and Derek Roddy were talking about it immediately at Amazon, 1 copy left. Buy. I'm like, this is the shit. And then you guys were talking about, I pronounced the name, Dodheimsgard.
Okay.
And me and Danny, who you saw on our podcast last week, me and Danny love that band. We go that band shit for Dodheimsgard.
Their whole catalog for me is amazing.
Dude,
I love
10 out of 10. Everything is so sick. Everything they've done is so sick.
What the most that newest one, and Omega, dude. It's just 5, 10, 12-minute songs of
the ending. I love putting on, I remember I put on for my girlfriend when we were very early on, but I wanted to show her some fucked up music. There's I think the song on that album, that song The Unlocking, where the singer at the end does that weird crying part, and it's he starts to cry. It sounds insane. And I showed it to my girlfriend. I'm like, yo, isn't this fucking sick, dude? Isn't this the shit? And she's what is this?
We kind of touched on that. We kind of touched on that vocal style. Yeah, that
crooning
style, dude, that came out.
Love that.
Decided in Norway that they were going to put that over some sad sounding avant-garde black metal.
Yeah,
shit.
Love it.
I mean, it fits fine for me, dude. But some people,
I think it's great.
Is off-putting.
Well, even on the Virus stuff, I think it sounds really cool. At least on that album, Memento Collider. Yeah, I loved it. And I mean, I listened to that whole thing yesterday, and I was so baked.
I mean, all of them are good. Yeah, Black Flux is really sick.
Yeah, Black Flux is the only one I had heard of before before the other day. Like, that's really what pushed me to check it out. And
check out Carhartt. That's another good one.
I'll have to. Dude, you would get along with Danny so well. Like, there's so many times.
We were saying that pre-pod. I was like, dude, I listened to that episode.
He was I could
Danny
tell.
Should be my friend.
And I'm not talking shit on Danny. I love you to death if you're listening. But like, I'm pretty sure Danny was definitely like so jealous I was on your show, dude. He was like, fuck.
I'd love to have him back on, dude. You guys should come back on with him.
We could do a Roman Ring episode, dude. I'll come on with him.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
dude.
We could do that shit. He would love
Bill,
it.
you can come too, dude. Let's
I'm gonna ruin it for you guys.
Dude, let's get the Brady Bunch deal going with the, like 9 squares on Zoom.
I love that, man. I'm all aboard for that shit. I would love
we did that so with Cryptopsy. That was insane, dude.
Yeah, I know. That was sick. You guys did that. What are they, a 4-piece now? That's so wild.
Yeah, but it was 5 because we brought Mike DeSalvo on too.
He was
on Whisper Supremacy.
Yeah, he's my favorite. He's my favorite Cryptopsy vocalist. Yeah, in my opinion.
He's one of my favorite all-time guests, dude. He's a fucking killer, dude.
Yeah, he's a sick guy. Yeah, that was so sick, man. Fuck, dude. That's so sick to get to talk to all these people. That's so awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you didn't even realize it, dude. You know? It was really just like started as just a hangout thing.
I know. And I
keep us sane during the pandemic.
What you guys are doing, I think personally, and I wanted to say this when we were on your show, but I think what you guys are doing is so important because there's so many bands like Decrepit Birth, Deeds of Flesh, Severed Savior, Odious, Mortem, every band all of you guys were in, played a really big part in my life growing up, especially with that style of technical death metal. That was like my era of tech death, was Decrepit Birth, The Faceless, Severed Savior, Odious. Dude, the first time I saw Danny, he was wearing a Servile Insurrection shirt, and I was like, okay. It was in the Urjoni promo, his old. Oh, really? Yeah, he's wearing the shirt. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy knows what's up.
That's awesome.
Joe was wearing a Noctambulant shirt, so I'm like, okay,
Yeah, dude.
This shit is awesome.
It was unique leader and meeting the right people at the right time, dude. And like I said, when I was saying having a place to converge on where everybody can come back to and be like, did you check that band out that I talked to you about? Or it's just like it all built and you end up, that we became Unique Leader fanboys and then being on the label itself.
Yeah. But it's so great. There is such a sick community out there, and I'm so glad that you guys have, at least there's this podcast medium now where not only can people discover these bands, if they'd never heard them before, but like they hear about how pivotal some of these bands were, and like dude, for me, seeing those Deeds of Flesh episodes, dudes, that was mind blowing to me. I love that band, and I never got to find out everything I wanted to know about them. So hearing you guys,
we didn't realize that. Though.
Yeah,
we didn't realize that like there wasn't that much Deeds of Flesh information out there. Like I might have already told you this on your episode, and I've said it. I would do it. That's another thing too. Now we're up at almost 50 podcasts. I don't remember what I said.
It's all good. That's me every week here. If I get too big, dude.
But it was me doing that New Deeds record.
Yeah.
And the podcast starting all at the same time that got that first episode together real quick.
Dude, that record's so good too, man.
They literally hit me up and they're like, dude, give me your address. We got your care package coming sick. And then I was just like, oh shit, Casey and Joseph and I are starting this podcast thing. Why don't I just hit up Mike and be like, why don't you guys come on as the first episode? Dude. It makes sense.
Oh my God. Such a good, those first few episodes, like Decrepit Birth, Disgorge, and fucking Deeds of Flesh, it's just like the 3 Ds, man. It's like the foundation, dude. And like,
can you tell a difference in me? Because I don't watch them. Can you tell a difference?
I mean, I tell a difference in all you guys. I think you guys have all kind of naturally found your voices a little bit more on the show. Yeah. Like it's very interesting because I think you guys play off of each other very well, the 4 of you guys, and that's hard. It's hard to have a podcast with 4 hosts, dude.
It's a long friendship. That's why, dude.
And you guys do it well. Like I watched the episode that Jason did, and it was awesome how everybody just got their bits in and stuff.
Yeah, and it's so sick because
it went really well.
Yeah, everybody too brings such a unique flavor to your show because I feel like every one of you guys has such a distinct personality type that the questions you all have are such it covers so many different basics. You know, it's like, Anthony, I feel like you ask a lot of very like personal questions, which I think is really sick. You know, Joel too, I think talks a lot about like, almost like, you know, he asks a lot of like logistic questions, which I think is really cool. That kind of sheds a lot of light people don't get to see. And then Casey asks all these really sick music related questions. And, you know, Joseph is like,
questions.
Dude, Joseph is sitting there fucking like tying it all together and like trying to keep you guys all in line. It's so sick. Yeah, I felt so bad on our episode because I just kept like fucking derailing everything.
Yeah. But that's great.
I was just so stoked to hang with you.
That's where we get the most real, bro. Yeah. That's where it becomes the most personal. You show yourself as much as when we're just like,
yeah. I mean, that's what our show is all about. I mean, I think that's why we do what we do, is because our medium provides for so much exploration.
Yeah,
and conversation.
It's fun to do these long form ones just because you get to have like real conversations, and it's not like these like pre-made questions that you see in like Guitar World that they ask the same members week after week, you know? And then like the further you get into it, the more like depth it goes, and you start talking about other stuff that, like you said, you got to hear shit that you were like, I had no idea like these dudes like did this or said this or like that, you know, and it makes it so much more interesting. Although at the same time, you got to be careful because like we got in trouble once because like we had some friends on that were this band Lavisher, and like some fanboy of theirs was like, what the fuck? You didn't ask him any of these questions. Like, you guys suck. I was like, sorry, we're just hanging out.
Wasn't I on tour when you did that?
I try not to pay attention. I try not to pay attention to the chat either. I don't really know how much shit talking is going on about our show, but
dude, I've never seen any negative
mostly positive. You know,
if I ever saw a negative comment, you would see me in there like coming down in the corner, on that motherfucker, like internet wise. But I always try to leave like sick comments on your YouTube videos. So check your videos because I'm always like, this is the shit. This is sick. Like, I used to go to the gym during the pandemic for a while, and I would put on like an episode of the podcast when it would come out, and like I would listen to these like 2.5 hour Diego podcasts and be like, I fucking love this. Like, so sick, man.
But you were like an early adopter of the show, and it was awesome.
Like, first episode, dude.
Yeah, like right away, he was just like plugging in. He was like, guys, you got to check this out.
Yeah, I was
on board at the beginning.
Just it's so like, it's like when you look at the history of the metal community, or at least people trying to provide a history for the metal community, what do we get? We get books about Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath.
Right.
Like, now we've kind of reached an age where you could buy a book about Entombed and Morbid Angel, which is cool, but still it's like, what about this entire generation of death metal that was inspired from all of that, you know? That you don't really, that hasn't really been documented. Like, I'm not going to pick up a book and see the significance of Aborted's death metal career, but there is a significance.
Oh, no, there is 100%.
And it's just like, you don't really get to see a lot of that stuff on the surface. So to see you guys doing the Lord's work, and getting these fucking bands on the show.
And it was kind of subconscious, dude. I mean, first and foremost, it was a hangout. It was Joseph and Casey's idea. I was only the first guest. It was the pilot episode, which I don't even care, dude. I don't even know what's on that fucking episode, dude. But I think I voted for them to put it as like a first anniversary.
Is the pilot episode up on your guys' YouTube channel? I need to rewatch.
It's not up. It's not.
No, yeah, right.
We pulled it. It was only up for a week, so
I never saw it.
Who was watching the first week for whatever reason, you would have been able to see it. But we pulled it as soon as Deeds, because we wanted to call Deeds the first episode.
Nice. Are you guys ever going to upload that?
Casey still got it, dude.
You should, man. That would be sick. Or at least just send it to me so I can.
It even had a name. It was called Decrepitated Tormentation.
That was the name of the podcast?
Yeah.
The episode title?
At 2 different times during that episode, I said both of those words.
Tormentation?
It's not that. Well, decrepitated is definitely. It was me.
Decrepitated?
It was me mixing deprecated, decrepit birth, and decapitated all in one.
Decrepitated? Yeah.
That's how my mouth wanted to work at that time.
Dude, that is something Danny would do.
That sounds like a Dannyism.
I have a cousin who used the word tormentation, which is actually a word from the 18th century.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and it means the same thing. So at some point I said decrepitated and tormentation, and we named the episode Decrepitated Tormentation.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
Rolls off the tongue.
That's a great episode name. I would love to hear that, man.
Keep playing, dude, and then it started to snowball. That's what it was. We started realizing we could get more guests than we thought that we could. I think that Deeds being the first episode made it seem more serious than it actually was at the time, and that's why it picked up so quick. You know? Yeah. I mean, Jacoby coming back, the album coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean it's such a big landmark, you know.
It was coming out like the day after or something.
Yeah. Well, then you had them back to do the actual show.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it was. So Craig and Ivan came back on like the day before the album actually dropped. But October we're coming up on our year, dude. It's crazy. How long have you guys been doing this?
Jesus Christ, long ass time. We've been doing this for years, 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
So you're definitely ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're coming up on
in the metal realm.
2? You know? We're coming up on 200, I think.
So we're over 200. This is 214.
Yeah, we're 214.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, you definitely. If you're doing one a week, that's definitely multiple years right there.
We had some breaks here.
Yeah, we had a lot of breaks here and there where it would just be like.
I know we started in like November, so we're coming up on like our anniversary or whatever.
We are coming up on an anniversary, but now we've been doing it for once a week, pretty significantly. At least like.
We've done a good job of being consistent.
So
my first podcast was around that time, or maybe even earlier than that I had ever done was the band Son of Aurelius used to have a podcast. The Aurelicast.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, I used to listen to that shit, dude. I loved Son of Aurelius. Any band that came out of your area, I was all about it, dude.
Dude, so, I mean, those Son of Aurelius, both those records fucking rip.
Yeah, dude. I have copies of both. I mean,
if you really are into your Tech Deaths Cali shit, go to that first one. But the second one, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, the progressive.
It is turn everything. I mean, if you're into all different styles of metal, like we had just been talking about, like that is just one big package of all awesome.
And Riley does vocals on the second one, right? Riley McShane. Yeah. Shout out Riley and Proponent Games. I should plug. He's got their first game, Proponent Games, which is this game publishing company started by
cool.
2 dudes. Dude that I'm buddies with on Twitter and this guy Riley. Yeah, they have the
June
first
2020 they started that company.
No shit.
Yeah, they got a game called Anton Ball coming to Anton Ball Deluxe is coming to Switch on the 28th. So if you're listening, buy that shit because I'm buying it.
Yeah,
and it's very Wario inspired, and I love Wario, and I love all of the Wario games. So like, especially the old Wario Game Boy games, which this is supposedly inspired by. So I'm very excited to check it out.
Huh. Yeah, dude, I was super proud of. I mean, he was hit with a bunch of messages. I'll eventually hit him up and tell him, dude, I was super proud when I saw that because I was just like, man, he's been hustling and grinding for less than just over a year on this company, and boom, he's got a game coming out on Switch.
I know, it's so fucking sick,
dude. A round of applause, bro.
Yeah, so I will be hitting the BZ and
he did some voice acting in a game too.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Cheney. Was it the same game with Cheney from Odious?
I don't know, man. The closest game experience that I know somebody's recorded on was our guitar player, Nate, is in another band called Immortal Bird, and their singer Ray, she was part of the Doom choir when they were doing the Doom Eternal shit. So she was hanging out with Sven from Aborted.
Look into the Cheney from Odious because she's actually the star of a game that just is coming out. I think it might even be from the Resident Evil series or some shit.
Oh shit!
Oh, bro, it's like
about that. Legit shit.
That's wild.
And she's the main female protagonist or some shit in the game. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a few metal vocalists actually were pulled for that game. So I wonder, who's behind the scenes.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that movie Extract that was done by. The creators of Beavis and Butthead, he's a super metalhead, and so you watch that movie, and there's a Cephalic Carnage T-shirt, there's an Exhume T-shirt, there's
I've never seen that
relapse bands that are just
Mila
popping up.
Kunis and Jason Bateman.
Really?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Damn. And there's a Cephalic Carnage shirt in that.
That I don't remember, but that's awesome.
That I can't. I think there's a band that's playing. It's a grindcore band too, and they were called like fucking. Like one Gut Sore or some shit. I'm probably butchering the name, but
is that TJ Miller plays that kid in that movie? Is that the movie we're talking about, or am I thinking
the one where they work in like a factory?
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Just making extracts for like flavors.
Yeah,
and shit
I'm
like
thinking
that.
probably something else then. There's a movie where T.J. Miller plays some metal dude, and they work in a warehouse.
Oh, that's him. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
then it is.
You're right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
He's a comedian, right? T.J. Miller's the comedian.
Yeah.
He's the one rocking all the metal shirts. Yeah.
I have
They're all
seen
relapse bands.
Yeah, I remember seeing a cephalic shirt in that movie. I was like, what? Yeah.
That's
sick,
awesome.
Dude, that band fucking slaps. I hope they.
Which one?
Back. Cephalic Carnage. I love that band.
I believe me, dude. We're gonna make that happen because I definitely want to.
Oh, please make it happen, dude. I will be there front row and center, dude.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we've got connections to the band and shit too.
Hell yeah.
I'm Facebook friends with a couple, the guys from the band and shit. We're just. That's another thing too, is like scheduling, making things happen. It's been the challenge a little bit, but we're grateful that like we have zero in the bank right now, dude. We have zero episodes in the bank, and we've still been able to put an episode out every week.
Oh yeah, well we rarely do ones in the bank too. I mean,
it's only if we plan ahead.
Yeah,
like
sometimes
if I'm not here,
which we are gonna have to do. Well, we might do one in the bank, right?
We're gonna have to do one.
You guys just made me realize we're gonna have to put one in the bank. I'm going to Vegas a week from next Thursday.
Dude, what are you doing out there?
Just me and my wife, my brother, his wife, and my best friend and his wife are all gonna go out there kid free and rage.
Wow, hell yeah.
Do some gambling, some drinking, some eating.
Yeah, eating definitely, dude. That's what I don't even gamble. Last time we went pre-pandemic, me and my wife, dude, I had the best time I ever had in Vegas, and I spent zero money on gambling. Dude,
same. Nice. But I was only there for a day. Yeah, that's sick though.
It just made me realize like how much stress you actually put on yourself when you put yourself in the whole gambling and then you're out doing shit. It's like you still have that in the back of your mind, like, fuck, I lost $100 like an hour ago,
Yeah, it should just be called like bad mood.
Eliminate the gambling aspect of it, dude. You can go out and eat whatever you want, get all your drinks, and still be like, that's what I spent my money on.
Yeah, I would much rather do that. I mean, when we went to Vegas, we were only there. We played a show at like a VFW hall, so we were only there for like a day. But we drove through the strip, and I saw a Denny's on the strip, and I remember thinking to myself, "Yo, if I had the time, I'd hit up that Denny's." Yeah, get fucked up on a fucking
Slam.
Vegas strip. Grand Slam. There's got to be something exclusive there, There's a lot of strippers giving out stripper cards and shit like that. That was really cool.
Escorts.
I remember the first time I went, I like made a collection. Like how many can I collect by the end of the night?
Yeah, dude, you got to do that shit, man. That's the move. Alex got out of our van and he grabbed a couple cards.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's got a couple of fucking stripper cards. Yeah, those will be worth something someday. Trade them, throw them up on eBay.
There's cool shit like the old Vegas sign graveyard, dude. Like all the signs all the neon signs from the whole history of Vegas. Like the oldest sign in Vegas is there.
Wow.
And it's just outdoors, and and actually they do themed things. So the reason why we booked this trip pre-pandemic was Tim Burton was doing it was an art gallery mixed into all these neon signs.
Oh, shit. Very cool.
Yeah, dude. So we're going through all these paths, and then you'd see like a Tim Burton character sculpture hidden behind a fucking neon sign over here. You'd have to look through certain glasses to find there'd be like overlays of what you're looking at, but it would be Tim Burton-esque. Like you'd look at the real thing normally and then look through it and it'd be like you're in a Tim Burton film, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Thing.
Very cool.
So that type of shit's pretty cool. But yeah, dude, just fucking go out there and, dude, kid free. I mean, I love my kids. Kid free.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I'm looking forward to being in my hotel room. My wife's getting ready for dinner and I'm just chilling and silent.
Yeah, dude. Silence. You don't have to. Oh, man, that's so sick. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that is the best, dude. Like that was my last night was the first night my girlfriend went out to do something and I had the apartment to myself for the whole night. So yeah, I listened to that Virus album. I got high out in public and took my dog. Nice. So there's a really, you would probably think the spot is sick, dude. I live up on the north side of Chicago, and there's a suburb called Evanston. I think it's in Wilmette, right? The Baha'i Temple?
Wilmette.
Yeah, Wilmette it's an infamous town because there was a lot of John Hughes movies filmed there. Like The Breakfast Club was filmed around there. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The house is in Winnetka or Wilmette. One of those, but there's a really big temple out there. It's called the Baha'i Temple, which it's a based off of the Baha'i religion, obviously, and it's one of the few Baha'i temples in the U.S. And it's a huge, it's sort of a tourist attraction. It's not that much, but it's really big, and it's in this really like pretty ass suburban area of like not even in the city anymore at that point, but you're basically you're right next to it's right off of the lake, so you're right by the beaches up there, and it's like my favorite spot to go. What am I like? I sound like a 15-year-old, but it's my favorite spot to go drive and get high at. So
Hell
like,
yeah.
you know, I got the dog in the car, and my dog is so fucking big. He's like 85 pounds, dude.
It looks like a dude in like a dog costume. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
What kind of dog is it?
He is a German Shepherd mix, and he's actually from California. He's a Californian boy. My girlfriend used to live in California for a little bit. She went out to school there, and she got her dog and her cat. So our dog and our cat are both from California. Okay. But yeah, his name is Django, and he is we think he's like a mix of like a Great Pyrenees, maybe,
it looks
and
like a Bernese,
Bernese mountain dog, or like people have always been like this.
He's got the coat like a Bernese.
He's like a big, fluffy black entity. That's just really giant.
He's
and
like Mike Myers.
I'm about to name drop real quick, but I stayed at Maddie Way. Stayed at Maddie Way's house for a weekend.
That's awesome.
Wife, and he had an Alaskan Malamute.
Yeah, I love those dogs, dude.
Dude, but he claimed my wife for the weekend. Dude, I couldn't get near my wife for the weekend.
Oh, he was being very
protective.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, like, as soon as I get near my wife, he's
not having it.
Oh, wow, dude. I've never heard my dog growl other than at a firework before. He's so peaceful, and he loves attention.
So yeah, dude, I feel for dogs on 4th of July, no doubt. Especially around here, because I mean, it goes for like a month.
Oh, same in Chicago, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's still going on. We still get fireworks. Basically every night I hear at least one firework in my neighborhood.
Dude, like, it's trippy to think like, of like that though. Like the way that sound works for a dog. They can sit in a room and it's not like extremely loud for them because they're sitting and chilling in a room, but at the same time, the length of space or sound that they can hear, I can't compute it in my brain.
Yeah,
you know?
it's very, I mean, and you know, I think about it rationally because like I had to literally sit down at some point and tell my high ass self like, okay, you're a human being. I cannot rationalize to a dog what a firework is for him to understand. Dude, you got nothing to worry about. Just smoke with me and chill in the house. Right. We're good. You know what I mean? It's like you can't like say that to a dog and then be like, yeah, I get it.
Like, you're right. That's not that.
It's just a noise. Right. You know, to them, it's like there's no rationale behind it. So it's just like
it's just loud.
I wonder if it's just I wonder if it's the mystery of the sound. You know,
maybe, like, you know,
where's it coming from and why is my human freaking out?
Yeah. and it could hit a frequency that is stronger for a dog than a human. Because obviously, you know, you see those dog whistles and you don't hear it, but then the dog is like, you know, like in all those 90s sitcoms where dog whistles were a big thing, which is so
same
weird.
Thing with their noses, dude. So I think like anytime I fart in a room with a dog, I feel like they're just going through it hard.
Oh yeah,
they're diagnosing your entire week of what you ate. I was like, oh, dude, he had red meat yesterday. All right.
Yeah, man. But that relaxing feeling, dude, you're gonna love it. It's so chilling by yourself sometimes.
Sans kids.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. My immediate thing to do when I'm by myself in my house is shut all the windows and turn on something fucking David Lynch or fucking.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm wearing my fucking blue velvet shirt today, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. I didn't even. My eyes are so bad I can't even see it.
Yeah, it's got Dennis Hopper on it.
Great fucking flick, dude. What a great flick, Dennis Hopper in that movie. Fucked with
dude, I forget that you're a Lynch fan, man. I've heard you mention it on an episode before, but like,
I'm definitely a big fan, dude. And it's been like that for a long time. Yeah.
Oh, same. Lynch is
2005, I think, was the first introduction.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I was probably.
And I give it to the Odious dudes.
Man.
Oh, Elephant Man was your first.
Yeah, that was the first David Lynch movie I saw.
Dude,
and then Eraserhead.
Dude. My wife came home at the end of that movie, and I'm just like,
yeah, man, it's fucked up, dude.
But my first Lynch, I can't put it. It's either Dune or Eraserhead.
Okay,
those I know I watched both those movies at the same time. I can't remember which one was first.
Yeah, well, Eraserhead is like a very striking movie first watch, and Dune is too.
Yes. But, yeah, Dune. I actually like it.
Me too. I do too.
Lynch will never ever say that he likes it because he never got edit, and
no final
cut out a lot of shit that he didn't want to cut out, and that actually was a learning experience for him as an artist, because at that point he knew it didn't matter the money, he always was the final cut, and you can see, you know, what he's doing after that too. So, but yeah, dude, when watching Eraserhead, it definitely opened my mind to different types of cinema. And then I got to give it up to David Siskin. He was the old guitar player of Odious. He was on Devouring Prophecy, and he was, you know, a founding member of the band. And going down to their house, the Thunderdome, we called it. Those whole weekends that I was telling you about. So, you know, filling the time between partying and fucking jamming. What are we doing? We're smoking weed and we're watching crazy shit. Yeah. And he'd always bring the crazy shit, like the Holy Mountain from Alejandro Jodorowsky. Yeah. High from Darren Aronofsky. And so I got that kind of download through him, and it sent me down a deep rabbit hole. And now anything Lynch touches is, I'm guaranteed to watch it. And Twin Peaks: The Return is the best thing that's ever been created.
I 110% agree with you, dude. I love the Twin Peaks Return. I love it more than the original show, dude. And a lot of people always.
And I love the original show too.
Me too. I love
the original show. Has its quirks and its traits that I love so much about it. And Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Dale Cooper is my fucking hero always, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And he doesn't eat anything but fucking sugar and coffee. Yeah. So he's this fucking like intuitive fucking FBI agent that just lives on sugar, runs on caffeine
and sugar. Yeah, dude. Dude, and fucking Wyndham Earl, classic villain. I love the OG series, but seeing, you know, like taking, because I've watched probably the Return series 5 or 6 times now in my life.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, I think I'm on my 7th right now. I'm literally at episode 8 right now, and I had to take a break before I started because I need that time to be by myself to watch episode 8. I love watching
episode 8 sober and high. Like I'll watch it twice. Like once I'll watch it and like I'll smoke a fuckload beforehand, and I'm like, this is insane. And then I'll watch it again sober, or I'll do it vice versa. But
Bill, are you into any Lynch shit?
I do enjoy like the movies and stuff. Twin Peaks never really grasped me. I keep trying to go back to it. Like I feel like it's like something I should be into.
It's a thing that
it is very out there. Yeah.
You have to watch the whole thing. You have to watch
absolutely.
Season. Yeah. You have to watch Firewalk with Me to really be somewhat prepped for what's going to happen.
Right. I have it all queued up and like all my streaming stuff. Like it's all in my queue.
I had a cousin who started at The Return, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, like, you can't
she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, of course you don't
fucking get it.
Yeah, if you don't know any
erase your eyes right now. Get that time back somehow.
But then I'll refrain from giving away. I mean, it's hard for you to keep track of most shit that's going on in that show. That's why obviously, dude, Jason, we should do an episode where me and you talk about our theories on The Return.
I would love to.
I would love to. My notes in my phone, the biggest note I have is your Twin Peaks theories.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. Yeah, it really is. I have a few theories myself for sure. We should get into that shit because like I love.
I don't want to do that in front of Bill since he hasn't seen it.
I hear you. And Bill is you respect a lot of that stuff, so it's like I wouldn't want to ruin that for you because it's so.
I mean, you already ruined Sopranos for me, but
yeah, I did ruin the Sopranos.
It's definitely Lynch's magnum opus for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's like The Return. The Return.
I would call it an 18-hour film. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, because it pulls from so much more that is not even derived from Twin Peaks. Like it pulls from all over his.
Mark Frost. You got to give that up to Mark Frost, dude. He's the one who's the literary fucking madman in that shit.
I know. Yeah.
Did you go deep enough to read his books?
Yes, I have a couple of them actually. I was just about to ask you about if you've read his autobiography or Catching the Big Fish, because those are my favorites.
Oh, you're talking about Lynch. Yeah, I've read
Mark Frost books.
I've catch. We'll talk about the Frost books.
I have not read the Twin Peaks books. I have not read.
That's the ones I was talking about.
Are those sick?
Sick, dude.
Yeah, I should read them, dude. I thought about.
I'm not joking. You read those, and it's gonna give you even more theories about The Return.
Yeah, I should just get them and fucking read them. I hear they're great.
Go for the audiobook, dude. The audiobook's done.
I don't like audiobooks, dude. I like fucking. Really? I gotta sit and read. Yeah, I can't do audiobooks because I stopped listening. Oh yeah. Do you wear glasses
the big
or
dream,
contacts?
or what is it called? The big dream?
Catching the big fish.
Well, catching the big fish, and then the
Room to Dream.
Room to Dream.
Yeah. I have copies of those guys. Yeah.
So wait, there's books that are tied to the story of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So it's like in between like the original season and the new one.
Yeah. There's an FBI dossier book, right, or a dossier.
Yeah. So Mark Frost is the co-creator of the show,
Twin Peaks with
and basically he kind of takes Lynch out of he
reels Lynch in from the crazy shit.
He reels him back in. He lets Lynch go crazy and then reels him back in and makes sense of things to where it could be, written as a story. And but he adds a lot to it. Like he's really into the esoteric, the occult, and all these different like the supernatural things.
Yeah.
But Mark Frost basically he wrote a book in the style of an FBI dossier, documenting Twin Peaks history. So it's called The Secret History of Twin Peaks, and that book came out right before The Return came out.
Yeah,
and then The Return came out, and then he put out what's called the Final Dossier, and it was a dossier again, but it was obviously that's something that had to come after The Return.
The Return.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's basically Mark probably because they wrote that shit for like 4 or 5 years or something.
Oh yeah,
or worked on it for 4 or 5 years, and it's probably a lot of the stuff that ended up not making it into the show, but it really gives a new perspective on things because I'll just say there's some inconsistencies in the book that make you think like not just because Mark Frost is such a precise person.
Yeah,
he didn't make these mistakes.
Sure,
it's a mistake, but you realize they're there for a reason.
Like they're very deliberate.
And there's hidden things in the book that people have actually decoded and all this crazy shit. Dude.
Have you seen that video on YouTube? That's that dude giving like the whole diatribe about his Twin Peaks theory. It's like a fucking 3-hour long video.
I refuse to watch it. Dude,
I tried.
I just don't like it when the pretentiousness of being able to say that you figured out David Lynch.
Right.
Yeah.
I really
that's
don't.
fair. Yeah.
The whole, I mean, I understand that there's definitely credible stuff in his theories or whatever. And I haven't watched the video, so I can't really talk too much about what he says, but I know that, Lynch, I like to take it the way he wants you to receive it, which is receive it through your filters and it becomes yours, and whatever you get out of it, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to give you the right answer.
Oh, no. But I mean,
he'll definitely never explain his work.
Lynch is such a big influence on Warforged, my band specifically Warforged. Because, like, I mean, me and Adrian were huge Lynch fans. We've always been huge Lynch fans, but I love how he's able to convey so many unspoken emotions, like so many unidentifiable emotions, and combinations of emotions. And I think a big driving force of what I've always wanted to do behind Warforged, musically and lyrically, was be able to portray those emotions, in a way where it's like, I love those feelings. And like when you watch, I'm sure you've had to have seen Lost Highway, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And when the dude is like, I'm in your house right now, like that scene and that feeling is just so like, it's such like, I love that. And I want like to, there's so many ways to encapsulate those feelings. And, I love Lynch's take on art because it's so indirect and it's so up for interpretation, but it can mean so much. And, that's that. I just,
and how dream logic is a big thing too. Like that, diner scene in Mulholland Drive, that guy talking about his dream and then actually becoming real.
Yeah, I love that scene, dude.
that hit me like hard the first time because I was like, I've had a nightmare about a creature like that.
Oh,
that literally fucked with me when I was a child. and like he looked just like that, dude. And no matter how much I would close my eyes in the dream, he'd just like transparency. I could not look at him. If I went behind a wall, he would like appear again.
Yeah.
And it's just like he kind of taps into like, oh, dude, that was an actual nightmare I had.
Yeah,
this isn't this isn't something that was, it could be a nightmare. This is like, oh, somebody actually had something very serious.
Oh yeah,
watching the movie, like,
yeah, it's sick, man. It's just those types of emotions he creates, I think, are so cool, man. And it's so cool because I don't know, I'm surprised that like. There's so much, and I mean, granted, there is a lot of metal that I think takes inspiration from themes like that and ideas like that, but I also feel like there's a lot of metal, especially in death metal, that, lyrically speaking, is so conceptual in a way where it's almost like, in a sense, I feel like can contradict that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so much metal these days that's so direct, and like the lyrics are so direct and so like, here's this is what you're getting. This is exactly what it is. And I love that mystery Lynch includes within his work. Like that's so, I mean, like the ending to like probably one of my favorite endings to anything of all time is like the ending of the Return series. Like just the way that ends, like the final scene in the final episode is like one of the best endings, in my opinion, I've ever seen. And I love that, it's the reason I love the Sopranos ending so much. It's just like, there's so much.
End it well.
Yeah, there's so much there. And it's like people want so much shit fed to them. And it's like, if you're one of those types of people, I would say, Twin Peaks is probably not the show for you.
No.
And it's like,
I know I enjoy that
instant gratification. If you want instant gratification, that is definitely not the show for you. I mean, you do get instant gratifications in certain aspects of the show, like certain love interests and blah, 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 blah. But over the grand scheme of things, like once it ends, if you want to be like comfortable with how it ended, you don't want to go instant gratification. You have to sit with it for a while in order for it to finally be okay with everything. And I'm not saying that it's bad or good how it ends, but just like instant gratification is not your thing if you're watching a Lynch thing, because you have to fucking really make it your own. You have to interpret it for you, and I've watched it enough to where I have a solid thing that makes me feel good about what's going on in the show. You know? But I think that's how it should be, because anybody who's like, I'm not going to fucking watch that show until I know that I'm going to learn everything. It's like, well,
then you'll be waiting forever. Like keep on waiting, man. Yeah, like you'll never see it. Then it's like the more and because it was funny because the first time I saw the Return series, I fucking hated it, dude. I hated it. Yeah, dude, I could not stand it. I like gave up.
Was it Dougie? Was it Dougie?
It was Dougie. Dougie was a big part because I was like, fuck Dougie. Like I'm pissed about Dougie.
We're like, we're not going to talk about.
That's exactly what it was. I'm like, where's Richard Cooper? Damn it! And like
Dougie Smith, man.
When I'm 8 episodes in, dude, and I'm just like. Yeah, Dougie was a big reason, but finally,
Cool Runnings.
That is Dougie Doug. Yeah, dude.
If Dougie Doug's in it, I'll watch it finally. You guys have won me over now.
The first time I saw it, I hated it, man, because I couldn't make those connections, and then I rewatched Twin Peaks, and then I was like, all right, I am gonna watch The Return. This was years ago.
The Return does like. It is a gap, right? Compared, it's not like they're like, oh, this is the next day after.
No, it's a 25 years.
25 years later,
which just makes it so like the scenes with Laura Palmer's mom in them, like fucking phenomenal shit, dude. Phenomenal shit.
Well, I'm sure because you said you didn't like it at first. I'm sure you probably already had like this idea of what was going to happen 20 whatever years later, right?
Almost. This is what I'll say was the disappointment without giving away too much. It really doesn't pull a lot from the OG series.
Okay,
and I think a lot of people, including myself, were going into it expecting it to.
What did it air on?
Showtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
And originally that was like what on Fox NBC, or something? NBC. Okay.
I would say it's more loosely connected or more closely connected to the movie, which is actually a prequel to the show itself.
Right. Yeah. The Fire.
But it's like The Return is kind of like
movie too, by the way.
All the good things that you remember from the show and all the bad things, but kind of pushed through the filter of Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
Like the prism, like imagine Fire Walk with Me as a prism, and season 1 and 2 is the light being shined through the prism, and what happens at the other side of the prism is The Return.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
but that's a really way more fucked up too.
Yeah, way more fucked up and just weirder. But yeah, I would agree. It does.
When did it click for you?
For me, the Return series, the second time I tried to watch it because I kind of like, I watched it all back to back. So I already got my fill of everything I needed to know. I was current with it because the first time when it started to air, I didn't go back and rewatch everything. But I was like, I think I should do that in order to kind of have a better understanding and vibe of it. And then it was probably a year after it initially aired. I got into it and that's when I was like, I love this. And then it took me about 2 more times to watch it for me to realize it's my favorite piece of the Twin Peaks world. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much at a point where I think it's my favorite thing Lynch has ever done.
I love how, and we don't have to keep going on Lynch, but I just want to say one thing about him right now is I like how his ideas, if he says he falls in love with these ideas, to the point where he never really lets go of them because I've seen those ideas re-input into newer works. Like The Return is actually like everything he's done.
Oh yeah.
There's references to every single thing he's done.
Absolutely.
And there's even references to the earlier seasons in random ways. I'll tell you, there's just one part where a dude smashes his head into the wall. He's wearing a blue PJ setup, which is basically fucking it's Audrey's brother. Jeffrey. He smashes his head into a wall. There's a picture next to him that falls on the ground, and he's wearing a blue PJ setup, pajamas. The last scene, all that happens in the bathroom. I'm just going to say that to you, Jason.
Oh yeah, I know.
At the very end, go watch that last bathroom scene and tell me that. Look in the background because I'll text you the picture because I was like, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know how to Photoshop things, but I was like, I freaked out. Like, Bryce, you got to put these 2 things together so I have one picture. And so I'll send you the picture. I'll
send
text
it to me.
Then. And you'll be like, and that's 25, 26 year
gap
later where he still is like, I want to pay homage to that one scene, but I'm actually going to reshoot the scene in a totally different setting.
Amazing.
Different people and different things. Yeah, and you don't get it when it just comes at you the first time. That's why
you wouldn't catch on to that.
You watch it.
Yep. Yeah, dude, so good. I fucking love.
What
love
about
that shit.
You? Like, who's a director, or do you follow directors at all? Or are you just like whatever?
I love movies. Like I
film guy.
Yeah, like I'll watch whatever. Like,
so do you like Darren Aronofsky? Have you ever seen the Fountain?
No, I've not seen that. I have seen Pie.
I've never seen The Fountain. I've never seen Pie either.
I think what else?
Oh, this is a director you should be looking into, Jason.
Yeah, I should.
Darren Aronofsky. He did The Wrestler with with what's his name?
Oh, okay, I've seen The Wrestler. Yeah.
Mickey Rourke.
You ever seen Jacob's
Black
Ladder?
Swan.
Oh yeah, I've seen Black Swan. He did that.
Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, maybe I have seen that. Did he?
I know that name, but I can't think
That's
that
a really cool
I've actually watched it.
You should watch that. I don't know who directed that either, but it's with Tim Robbins, dude.
What year did that one come out?
91, I want to say, or 80, sometime between like 89 and 91.
Be careful, there is a remake out there.
Yeah, there's a remake that you don't want to see.
Really?
The OG one with Tim Robbins, you'll dig it. It's fucking awesome, and the imagery is crazy.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really cool stuff. But
the new Matrix looks kind of cool in the trailer.
I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'll get fucked up and watch it. You know, like, that's fine. You know, like, I could do that.
It made me go back and watch the first two. The second one was kind of shit.
Dude, those movies came out when I was a kid, so I thought they were cool. Like,
I shouldn't say that was a bad thing for me to say because I actually enjoy watching it, but there's times where it was
a little rough.
Touching on that the first Matrix feel, that vibe of the first movie. Like, some of the fight scenes were just like, really? That's a little. I know he's Neo, but like things are weird right here. Gravity's not really working properly, but I guess he has control of everything. Dude, so it's like,
fucking. Yeah, you know what? I will watch that new Matrix movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah.
We saw the new Candyman recently, and that was fucking awesome.
That was cool. That was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, but
that's another thing too. Is you guys go back out to theaters? I haven't been to a theater yet.
That was the first time for me. I went back to a theater.
Just bought like that AMC
pass,
or whatever. Nice. So I go to the theater like once a week now.
Oh hell yeah!
I actually did like a double header not too long ago.
Nice. For free.
Sick.
Like
I mean, it's like 20. It's like $20 a month. No, because I get 3 movies a week.
Oh, that's cool.
But I only do one usually. But then I think it was Sunday. I went like twice in a row.
Nice. What did you see?
Shang-Chi, which that was a bummer. Yeah. The movie was good, but there was like a fucking high school date going on next to me that wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I was like, God damn it.
That sucks.
And then I saw, was it The Night House, which was really cool. This girl, what's her name? Rebecca Hall, who was in, I think it was Iron Man 2, very randomly. And, but yeah, it's an interesting concept. Like she's having these weird nightmares and this entities like in the house. And it starts off her husband committed suicide. Doesn't know why. Didn't even know he had a fucking gun. And was like, and then goes down this rabbit hole and finds out more and more about his like background and what he was doing and why he was doing these things. And there's another house identical to theirs across the lake. And it's interesting.
It's good.
It's all right. It wasn't like anything too crazy, but I did enjoy it. It was
cool.
Fun. Some cool visuals where like the whole concept of this house is like her husband built it, and I love the way like the camera would be doing these like pans, and it would line up perfectly with like whatever piece of the house is there, and it would be the form of like a person. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it would, and then they just move it out of the way, and it's back to normal. And like, yeah, that was a kind of cool.
It's kind of like that show. What was it? Haunted Hill House or something?
Oh, yes. Hill House. Yeah,
all the hidden
ghosts in the background.
Me and Sam were talking about rewatching those shows.
There's another season,
Bly Manor.
right?
Yeah, Haunting of Hill House was the first season, and then The Haunting of Bly Manor was the second.
Yeah, I still haven't watched the second one.
Dude,
the first one was
like
awesome.
A scary soap opera. It made so good. I cried like 5 times.
I believe it.
Thing, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit because it's more like sad and romantic than scary in the end. I think.
Yeah.
Both of those shows in a way. Even the Hill House, like the ending of that, I'm like, oh, they just love each other.
It's good. Yeah.
Very
you guys ever
love
seen
wins, guys? Come on,
love conquers all.
Love always wins.
Yeah, dude.
What Garland Briggs from Twin Peaks says. What Wyndham Earl asked him, what do you fear? And he says, the possibility that love is not enough.
Yeah, yeah, that's sick.
That's
dude.
Intense. I like that.
The possibility that love is not enough. That is a sick fucking
good line
quote, dude.
You ever seen The Leftovers?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
3-season show. Dude, I highly recommend it. It's basically and it's
Wasn't
done by
on HBO.
Yeah, it was an HBO show. What's his name? Who did Lost?
Okay. I never saw Lost, but I have a friend that loves
it. Either way, you don't need to see Lost in order to know about The Leftovers. But it's what if 2% of the population just blipped out of existence all at the same time? What the world would be like after that? Huh. And it's a killer show.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Justin Theroux, Back to the Lynch.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah,
he's in there.
That'll be
a bunch of good actors, dude. And just think of what would happen if that happened. Like you're at the store and you're pushing your kid in the cart and you reach over to grab some marinara sauce and you look back and your kid's missing.
Yeah, I'd be like.
And that's what everybody was.
I don't know what it would be like.
And then you go outside and a car just smashes into another car with no driver because that guy got flipped out of existence. And, dude, that's a trip.
Yeah, I'd be suing somebody, I'll tell you that much. Who's getting a fucking lawsuit on their hands? If I'm at Jewel Osco, which is our big grocery chain out here, I'd be like, all right, let me speak to corporate.
Where's my kid?
Yeah, filing a complaint. What did you do with my fucking kid? That's what I would do, probably. I don't know. Shit. I should check out that show.
There's there's like crazy shit that happens, believe me, dude.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shows, it's only 3 seasons, so it's not like super intimidating. Yeah. And then you realize like every episode's a banger.
Oh, that's awesome.
30 episodes.
Yeah, I'll check that out, dude.
Does it wrap up?
It wraps up fairly well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wraps up better than a David Lynch thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes those don't even wrap up.
HBO does that. Like they'll pick up shows left and right, but then they drop them pretty quick, and then you get no resolve, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is
like
true.
The Watchmen. I wanted more of that show.
I'm surprised they only did. No,
now it's gonna just be a limited series, right? Like they're not doing another season.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah, dude. That was.
I kind of like the movie too. I never really read the comic book, and then I realized it's blasphemous to say you like the movie if you're a comic book reader.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
It
was like 3 hours long too.
Yeah, the extended version is like intense.
I have seen it. The movie was all right. I had read the book before the movie had came out, so I was a fan of the book. And I only watched a couple episodes of the series, but I did think it was really good. I don't know why I never finished it.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah,
and then
like
for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, like the concept.
You want to hear some like weird shit, which kind of ties back into some of the hip hop that I listened to. Alan Moore. He did it was a box set that came out called on the Unearthing or something like that, and it was CDs, vinyl, a DAT transcription of all the words he said, and it was a spoken word, almost like a movie. I mean, he's telling the whole fucking story, and he wrote the whole thing. And the dudes that did all the soundscaping and like music on that recording is from a collective of dudes that's called Anticon, and they were from Oakland in San Francisco.
Okay,
a bunch of Jewish kids, but making like really weird, like avant-garde fucking hip-hop. Avant-garde. I probably said avant-garde like 17 times on this podcast, but you can tell I love I love like the people who sit outside of the box and do weird shit.
It's the best. That's my favorite type of art too, personally. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. That's how I've always viewed it. Like with creativity, not to bring back the Lynch conversation, but I really resonated with that book he wrote on creativity, because I could find a lot of similarities with techniques and things that I would like to do. You know, like there's a really cool analogy, because the book's called Catching the Big Fish, and it's, you know, he uses it as a metaphor. You know, fish is a metaphor for ideas. And it's like sometimes you catch a really big fish, like a big idea, and you're able to use that as bait for other ideas. And it's almost like, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember writing songs where it's like I thought of one part, and then it was like I was able to see the rest of it.
Ways, yeah.
You know, it's like you could come up with the beginning and the ending and everything from that.
That's all it is. Those are the gems. I mean, everybody knows what it's like to sit down and, okay, I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah.
But what's going to start you in doing the thing? You know?
Exactly.
You're going to either try and come up with it in the moment, or if you catch your ideas, like, and store your ideas and fall in love with your ideas, they can be the seeds to other bigger things.
Yeah.
I mean, Inland Empire was a movie that was based on him wanting to shoot one scene, then he shot another scene, and then he got the idea of a third scene that tied those 2 scenes together, and then it became this like almost experimental freestyle film from that.
Dude, I've only seen that movie once, because it's a really different, it's a challenging watch.
It's a tough one to sit through.
Yeah, I need to try it again. I
never recommend it to anybody. I don't.
Yeah, you know, you have to like, you have to know what you're getting into at that point.
Veteran in the Lynchian universe
to really appreciate it.
And to appreciate it, and you're still not going to fucking get it.
Laura Dern's in it, right?
It's basically, it's like it seems like it's almost like the same script, just replayed through different scenarios.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me just saying the one thing that I can pull out of it. But anyways, you know, like catching the big fish, like Jason said, and you got to sit and he finds that through TM, transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
That's him sitting on the edge of the river with his fishing pole out, trying to catch the idea.
Yeah, you know? He's big into transcendental meditation. Like it's
expensive if you want to start. They try and get you for a fucking $1,000 just to fucking get your mantra, and you're just like, oh, this already smells kind of weird to me.
Yeah, like, can't afford it.
I'm gonna fucking give you $1,000 for you to tell me what to say to myself. It's like, I know there's more to it, and people rave about it, and it does help a lot of people, but I'm like, me and my wife don't have an extra couple grand for us to get in, because we both want to get into it if we're gonna get into it.
Man, I'm good with just weed.
I think meditation. Yeah, dude. There's active meditations that I like to do. Like golfing's one of them. I like to golf. You know, that could be a meditative thing. But or just sitting in silence. It's harder to do with kids, but you have nighttime to do all that kind of shit.
Oh yeah,
just resets, dude. Any kind of reset you can do. Yeah, really,
absolutely, man.
Get your shit fucking leveled out. Because
dude, you gotta, man. You gotta get your shit leveled
somehow.
Dude. Somehow you gotta chill. Everybody's got their vices, their ways of fucking.
Another book that I would recommend for if you're looking for something as inspiration to get you going in your art or whatever you're doing is Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art.
Interesting. I've never heard of it.
Not the art of the
War of Art. Yes.
And that, I actually got turned on to it by Rogan because I was a Rogan listener back in like 2010. I don't even really listen to him anymore because I listen to so many podcasts.
Yeah, I shit talk on Rogan all the time now. That's what this show is mainly about.
I mean, there's so.
That was the start of this. Yeah.
Anytime, I think the most recent Tom Segura one I listen to because I love Tom Segura.
We do too. Before you were here, before you came on the show.
I didn't even mention that. I know you're a Tom fan.
Dude,
that's the main reason why I'm going to Vegas.
He's a bigger Tom fan than I am, dude. And we were watching the newest YMH Live right before we started with you.
We're going to Vegas. We're going to see him and Ryan Sickler.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, Sickler's awesome. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
The Honeydew podcast.
Dude, the Honeydew's the shit.
Yeah, you were just talking about it. Yeah,
Arissa actually talked about it on the episode.
Yeah, she listens to it too.
She's a cool chick too, dude. I know we said Danny.
Dude, she was awesome, so funny on the show. She was awesome.
Great.
She roasted him. Freestyled on him. It was great.
Yeah, she fucking
that's what I did. I texted Jason. I was like, dude, I thought Danny was going to bring it, dude. He
never brings it.
No.
I have to tell you the story, man, because I was going to text out this whole story to you, and I did it, but I was like, I have to wait and tell you this on this show. So we're some good buddies of our bands. Is a cool band. They're kind of, you would actually probably dig them, Anthony. I'll send you a link to them later. They're called Barren Air. They're very very progressive.
Barren Air?
Barren Air. Like BARRENHEIR. So like an heir to a non-existent heir, I guess.
Gotcha.
But or a non-existent inheritant is I guess
best way to interpret
what you could call it. But they're just like they make such sick speak of avant-garde music, you would definitely dig the shit that they do. It's definitely a little kind of on the doom side, but it's really sick. And one of their buddies has a house in the burbs that he'll have like backyard parties at. Bill knows probably the exact story I'm going to tell about Danny freestyling. But I was at a party at Dave's house from Barren Air, and Dave had a shitload of people over, and his friend Ryan was by. And the way Dave's backyard is set up is that the side of the house that's facing the backyard is where the kitchen is, and there's a big fucking window, so you could pretty much see whoever is hanging out in the kitchen from the backyard. Like, it's really easy, and it was nighttime, so the lights were on in the house, so you had a clear vision of everything that was happening. And Danny wanted to freestyle this dude that's a friend of Dave's. His name is Ryan, he's been on our show before. He's insane. One of the craziest dudes I've ever met in my life. But he's like boom, real dude, fast. He's a really clever dude, and he's really good at freestyling. And Danny's not the best. And I was outside of the house. I was in the backyard, and I don't even hear this going on, but I knew that they were going to have a battle because they kept talking about it all night. Sure, and then Danny kept egging him on to do it because Ryan's like, I'll roast you, dude. And of course, I didn't even have to hear what was happening, what was the best part. So I'm standing outside with Eddie LaPierre, and we're just watching. It's like a video. Yeah, it's like we're watching a video. We're looking inside this window, right? And we can't even hear what they're saying, but they start this rap battle, and it's like you could see Ryan going and some people clapping, and you could see Danny kind of trying to come back, and you could just see in Danny's face, he starts going, and then he keeps going, but he's kind of closing his eyes and looking down, and he's trying to think, and then he'll smile and say something, and then Ryan would shoot back, and then you could just see Danny's facial expression just
he knew how to sell it before all the way up to the point where he
actually had to do it.
Yeah, he had to talk, dude.
He's a good hype man, for sure.
Dude, I was literally okay, here he comes, and then he's just 1 + 2 is 3, or so 2 + 2 is
so bad.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick, man.
Mathematics.
Yeah, it's just what? Yeah, but that night specifically was just so good to see Danny get defeated without even hearing it.
Oh, dude, you can tell from a mile away.
I'm just watching this happen.
Body language.
Yeah, it's oof, this is not. Yeah, and we're all laughing outside because we know he's getting his ass turned out, dude.
I was cracking up, dude. I definitely out loud laughed when I was listening to that at work.
Yeah.
I'm an automotive technician, so I
nice.
can just go one ear and work all day. I do wheel alignments all day. I just make cars go straight. Cool. Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah, shit.
Yeah. So it's like it's a good way to listen to just one ear or something. We've had the discussion of listening to bands with one ear though too. It makes it a whole different fucking album when shit's playing one way.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And there's a couple of exchanges in the guitars.
Yeah.
But so that's why I've kind of moved towards podcasting
at work. Yeah. Plus, it's kind of nice to have that conversation to help your day go by too.
Totally, dude. I mean, when you got people just hanging out in your head, you're like, oh, dude, I'm doing this, but I feel like I'm over here.
Yeah.
There's even times where I'll like have an outward response to a podcast that I'm listening to at work or something. And my coworkers will be like, oh, Anthony's listening to a podcast again. I'll just like be working and just like,
that's sick. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's so funny, man. I get that.
I gain a lot of information too. Like, it's not just comedy podcasts. Like I used to love listening to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
Oh, okay. I've never listened to that. I've heard of it, but I've never listened to it.
It's not available for free anymore, but he had a sick podcast series on Genghis Khan.
Oh shit! Okay,
I learned how that's how you're supposed to say
Genghis Khan.
It's not Genghis.
Sorry, if you hear some rocking, by the way, we're in a practice studio, so you might hear some.
It sounds like you're jamming like right there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Sorry if it's loud.
No, I didn't hear. I just heard a little bit of rumbling.
All right, cool. Well,
I hear a bass line now, but that's all good.
Yeah, someone's rocking out in this
usually
building.
There's it's Saturday. I think it's usually Saturdays is when
Saturday gets
those
busy
guys are in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you can come across that Dan Carlin shit, that's a pretty cool thing to listen to. It's
I'll have to check that out.
You just learn so much that you would have never learned.
Dude, these days I listen to Cali Death. I listen to
nice. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Some music podcasts I listen to every once in a while. Yeah. Like I listen to Doc Coyle's show every once in a while from God Forbid.
Nice.
He's got a cool show where he gets like dudes on that used to be in bands. Like I listened to an episode. He had the drummer from Periphery on, and they did a pretty cool episode together, just talking about the band and shit like that. Alpern. Yeah, and he had one of the old guitar players of Soilwork on, which is really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that Peter.
I love this medium just because I get to meet guys like you. It feels good when we have podcasters on. You know, like you can tell people who do it just as much as you. So it's that conversation is going to be much easier than trying to pull some history out of them,
Oh yeah, and that was like the first thing I thought about this episode. I was like, this is just gonna, and I'm gonna try and now get everybody from your show on.
We're gonna make the rounds, and
then I want to get all you guys on at once.
I'd love to watch a Joel episode,
dude. We got to do a Cali Death Nothings for No One combined episode.
And Casey,
get everybody on.
I enjoyed the fuck out of Joseph's episode because I didn't hear that much about Joseph on our show because he doesn't talk as much as he was able to talk on your guys' show, and being able to hear him and you guys bounce off each other. Like Joel had said, you guys got good voices for this, and it's weird for me to say it's listenable for me when I have so many other podcasts, but I still, when you make time for these podcasts, so I'm trying to say in a nice way without being a dick, like I have so many things that I listen to, and so it's hard to like keep up with every episode. But the last episode for sure, I was from the beginning to end. I listened. There's nothing else. I paused to listen to something else. I listened to you guys all the way through that episode. Dude.
That's awesome to hear, man. That's so great to hear. Yeah, we're just we just do our thing, and it's cool because like we'll have like like if you told me like 7 years ago that we would have the singer from Severed Savior and Odious Mortem on our podcast, I would be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, no way.
That's the same shit. That's the same feeling I get when I'm talking to somebody like Derek Roddy.
Yeah.
I met Derek Roddy for the first time, 2 nights ago on my show. If you talked
nuts,
to me
right?
2 years ago and said this would happen, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. It's just so cool, and it's cool. Like we've had like ever since I've been touring more, and like we've been making Warforged has been getting like all of our bands have been getting bigger. We've been meeting more people and having them come on the show. Like we've had Brody from Rivers. We'd have Biggs. We've had Biggs from Rivers. We've had a couple of the Inferi guys on.
We had Malcolm.
I've toured with them. Yeah, Malcolm Stevie was on. We've had Andy from Black Crown on.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people on our show.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has been it's
nice
been a lot
living
of fun
in this
to do
digital age, and then people can communicate like this now.
And it's just so cool because it's like
easy.
It's so cool because like we'll have an episode where we have Danny and Arissa on, and it's like having like friends and family on. You know, like I've had my dad on our show. Like our dad did 2 episodes back to back for Father's Day, dude.
I've thought about that, like starting a different podcast that's more general discussion, because I'd love to bring my grandma on, my mom's mom. She's a super interesting person to talk to.
That would be awesome.
She's very, out there spiritually, and the way she looks at just her perspective is very interesting. Interesting to me, and she's, exposed me to certain things, and just because I'm a person who just cherry picks from everything.
Of course,
and kind of molds that into, what I feel. I mean, that's again going back to the Lynch Academy. That's he just takes a little bit of everything and puts it together and you do that for yourself too.
Yeah, man.
My grandma was a huge inspiration in like becoming spiritual after. I'm not spiritual, but I'm saying like being open to other things. I was such an atheist when I was coming out of high school.
Oh,
dude.
Same, dude.
I was Christian upbringing or Catholic upbringing up until, like 5th grade. Then I realized like my parents didn't really care necessarily if I kept going to fucking catechism or church and all that stuff.
Cataclysm, but they still,
I know some people call it CCD or some shit like that.
Yeah, CCD. Yeah, my buddies did all that stuff.
But at just one point I was like, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore, and I started, I still, had this like higher power thing going for a while. And then I had the rebellious, adolescence where metal came into life, and I discovered Anton LaVey and the Satanic Bible and started calling that philosophy. But really all I was just doing was flexing in class. Like, check me out. I'm reading the Satanic Bible. Talking about it.
I hear you, man.
And then after that, it was like getting into Odious. Then I just became like, there is no such thing as a God or all this kind of totally was just like when you die, you get bit and you get eaten.
Yeah.
Which I still think that's basically what's going to happen. But having like introduced to psychedelics and doing mushrooms and all this shit, then you start to realize like, oh, wait, no, I would be wrong again.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't fucking know.
I mean, that's the thing with atheism. I feel like a lot of it is rooted in concrete evidence and just like having a mindset where you become a very theoretical person, almost to a point where it's just like, I mean, for me, it was just sort of like I kept like, it's just sort of like, you don't know everything. There's no way to know everything. It's like, why am I living my life in a way where I feel like I need to focus on finding out a logical answer to something? It's just like, where's the enjoyment with that? I
was just talking to Al about that the other day, and like, I was like, I say I'm an atheist, but like at the end of the day, it's like I don't know any more than the guy that's on the opposite end of it that, fully believes this thing. But I mean, to me, it's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's there, but if something's out there bigger than me, then fuck yeah, let's do it. But in the meantime, but it doesn't dictate my life.
Rocket till the wheels fall off.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. I don't know what happens.
If some higher being came down, I wouldn't be like, this is bullshit. Like this is it's like, oh, I guess this exists. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. It's just like there's so much we don't know and won't know even until after we're dead.
Right.
Like, it's just sort of like
and being just coming to terms with that earlier in life it's not gambling in Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just wild.
It's the less stress you get, dude.
Exactly.
Just being like, I know what I'm here for now. I'm having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
I got a cool thing with the podcast.
Living in the moment,
a fucking family that's solid. Like, I'm good right now, dude.
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, I think, living in the moment like that and focusing on what's in front of you is a little healthier than like constantly asking existential questions, maybe, or constantly finding, because that's what I would end up doing.
You go down a rabbit hole and drive yourself crazy.
And it's just like, it's cool. And like, I guess like, I I don't know. You know, it's a religion. You know, it's like talking about that with anybody. But like, I feel like in my older years, I've been more interested in like more aspects of it being a thing than not. You know, not that I feel like I attach to a religion. Like I grew up my dad's Catholic and my mom's Jewish, dude. So like two totally opposite sides. And like religion, I never went to like Sunday school. I never went to Hebrew school. Like I would go to Catholic church like once a year with my grandma on Easter to celebrate the Easter baskets. So they gave
you, from the beginning, they kind of just
they were just like, fuck it, man.
Find whatever you find.
You know, and I remember they offered me, like, they were like, if you want to do this, you could do it. If you want a bar mitzvah and get a bunch of money, go to but that's what it was about. You know, like, it wasn't like, it was never in my, like, my mom would always be like, yeah, if you want that, like, we'll throw you a bar mitzvah and shit, but you got to go to school and do that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, thanks.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Like a kid, you know, and like, you know, that's what they kind of did. They were like, let this kid be a kid. And then when it's time for him to figure that shit out.
My folks did the same thing. And it was funny because I grew up with a friend that like he went to church every Sunday. Oh, yeah. And I just remember like he'd always be like miserable about it. He'd be like, fuck, I got to go to church. Like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I was like, well, that doesn't sound fun. And I remember my folks, same thing. They're like, if you want to do this thing, we'll take it. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound that cool. So I'm just going to stay home, play video games instead. So
yeah. You know, it was
that I enjoy. And they're like, fine, that's cool.
You know, my parents are they're both the types of people that'll say some shit where it's just like, I feel like they come from a generation that, you know, my dad grew up in Catholic school. Like my dad hated it. I don't think he liked Catholic school, you know? And
my dad too.
My mom went to Hebrew school.
It was way more important for our parents'
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, it's like they're the generation that kind of realizes, like, you know, my mom has always said to me, even when I was little and I never understood it until I was an adult, my mom always thought to me, like, she would always tell me, like, I have the opinion that I don't think you need to necessarily be at a certain place to solidify your beliefs. She's like, I don't think, you know, like, you need to go to church every single week to solidify your beliefs in something. Right. You know, I'm like, yeah, that is an interesting hot take that, like,
if you're going to make a connection with whatever, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah. And it's like, why does it have to be the confines of a specific place and it has to be this
kind of strange because you figure most of these gods are all being and everywhere and omnipotent. You know, it's like, so why do I need to go down to this building?
Yeah, you know? Exactly. You know, and it's like,
and go to this building with a bunch of people who are trying to, look a different way than they actually are in their real life.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like it's a kind of a vain thing they want to go and show that, hey, look, I'm here, I'm at church and we're looking good. I'm happy and all this shit. And really, everybody's got all their bullshit and problems that they're dealing with in their life for the rest of the week. Yeah. And I understand that could be like a vacation from that too. Like you got to look at it both positively and negatively.
Oh yeah,
whatever helps you.
That's what gets you through the week.
If you are a good human being, I do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
If we could be homies, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could tell me that you believe in a fucking, you know, fire-breathing dragon that used to be here, and that was, you know, ancestors are now fucking reptiles. And it doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Yeah.
If you are a good person to me and I get a good vibe from you, that's it. It's when people are pushing their shit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a bummer
problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's never you're never gonna recruit anybody that way.
Yeah. It's like, how is that gonna work?
We usually, just like our parents told us to do something, we did the opposite. As soon as we can figure out how to do it opposite without getting in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's always interesting, you know, thinking about that shit when you're older. At least it's interesting to me.
Well, you got to go through that young rebellious stage, to find your own, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just how you can coast through this, without causing the least amount of fucking jumps on the fucking graph. You know?
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, being an atheist back then, like when I was in college and shit, I think a lot of it just made me feel smart too. You know, it made me feel like I was a notch above.
It's arrogant.
Yeah,
it's arrogant because you still are saying here's an answer to the equation.
Yeah,
I have the answer. It's still the same thing.
Exactly, and there's a feeling of that too that I think comes along. Well, that's where I was. You know, where it's just like, it is kind of arrogant to just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to go out of my way to shit on what somebody thinks. It's like, nah, I'm good.
Bit of a wet blanket for sure.
Yeah, not fun. not fun. And it's also just, yeah.
But then you get old enough to realize like consciousness is strange, dude.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah,
you just get humbled by the world naturally.
I can think about what I'm thinking about before I say it to you guys now. And then you're going to think about what I said. It's like consciousness is something that's so unexplainable to me, a dumbass, to where I'm like, okay, well, if it is nothing, where does that come from?
Yeah, you gotta come from something. Yeah.
Where does that come from? Somebody explain to me how consciousness works, because then I'll have an answer. But I don't have, nobody can explain it because we're all fucking humans and we can only expand so far.
Exactly. And I mean, that's why I just get baked and watch The Sopranos for the you know, because it's just I like this.
That sounds like a killer experience.
It is. That's been most of my
here
pandemic.
for those experiences.
Yeah.
Dude. Finding that's what my grandma would say. We're here experiencing this. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just experiencing it, dude.
That is very true.
That's the only reason why we're here, is just to experience it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Dude, I like your archaic hat, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
That's a sick one. Yeah.
I'm actually repping
the Severed Savior, dude.
Severed Archaic tour.
Nice. Yeah, sick tour combo, man. I dig it, dude.
Cali Death.
Yeah.
I gotta come represent.
Dude, you gotta fucking do it, man. I'm so glad that Cali Death exists in my life. And I'm very thankful for it, man. Because it's just so sick to listen to all those episodes. Because, like, dude, like, you're going to see Ontogeny tonight. Danny showed me who
dude,
Ontogeny was.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Danny was the first person. He was like, these were the guys in Anomalous. And I was like, I remember Anomalous. And, like, and then you get these guys on the show, and I get to hear everything about these bands. And it's just like, holy shit, all this shit
we're proud of our scene, you know. It's like it's
an amazing scene.
We think that, like, I mean, just as a vocalist, I can't really be, I don't consider myself any caliber of the musicians that I was blessed and fortunate to be able to, collaborate with.
Well, you're a beast, dude.
Years. Thanks, dude. But these guys are just like alien motherfuckers, dude. And like a band like Anomalous, like, it's just exposure is the only reason why nobody knows about it, because Tech Death, like, if you want to talk about Tech Death, that's the techest California death metal band. That fucking Omnivolent record or whatever is Omnivolent, that fucking record, dude, is amazing. It's just from front to back, it represents like the craziest tech death for me.
It's mind bending, man. It's mind bending,
and nobody talks about Max.
Nobody talks about that shit. But it's like, geez, I listened to, and I've had it for a long time, and now I could say it because it's out. But I listened to the new Rivers. I've been listening to it a bunch. I listened to it today on the way here.
Just dropped yesterday.
The work came out, and I've like, this is a record that, probably for the last 3 records, like, I've heard these songs in demo stages. Like, I still have demos of almost every song from the work that Brody would just send me. Their guitar player, who Rivers are a good, like, Warforged and Rivers have a long running history together, and they're
awesome,
good friends of ours. But like, just listening to like how this album specifically, I think is like, I'm so about it, and I'm so happy they did this, and I'm so happy it exists, because it's such an experimentation for them, but it's so sick to see them go the extra mile. And listening to the lyrics on this record, like, from what I could hear, and even on the way here, there's so many like basic lyrics. It's the winter.
This is the last one.
Yeah,
this is the fourth. Yeah,
but there's like a chorus in one of the songs called Episode, and the lyric is just like, I forgot all of the good things that I used to believe in. And it's just like such a simple lyric that's like not overtly metal about a castle or killing somebody or fucking something, or like, an alien or something. It's just like, oh fuck, this is like a thought this dude fucking had that is like totally relatable, and it's just like, it's such like a powerful thing to say in so many little words, because you look at
I wonder what you would think about my lyrics, dude.
I want to see them.
You should read them, dude.
I have a copy of them.
Synesthesia lyrics.
I have a copy of the CD. I got to bust it out and check out the lyrics.
So there's 4 songs on the Severed album that I didn't write.
Yeah.
And then there's, I think, 6 that I did. And then the Synesthesia stuff's all me. Casey helped a little bit on the last one, but yeah, dude, I'm just curious. The reason why I'm asking that is because you're somebody who reads the lyrics.
Oh, big time. I mean, I'm a big lyric writer myself, and I've been doing a lot more on the next one.
Because I really don't want you to think that I'm like the writer of Fecophiliac.
No, I know you're not.
Dude, that was such a great moment in the show. Like hearing the story behind that was so funny.
Because I was waiting to ask you about that. I'm like, dude, what's up with the song, man? I mean, I'm all
It was awesome. Yeah,
I'm all in support of shitting on somebody's chest, figuratively or literally. It's all sick. But yeah, obviously, like I've gathered now, that it makes a lot of sense that you haven't written that song, especially knowing you now as a friend. But not only, but just listening to you on the podcast.
I gave up on that style of writing back when I was like 19, dude.
Fair enough.
In Carnivorous, I was in a band before Odious called Carnivorous. And the first couple of songs we did were all that style, like gore and rape and all this kind of stupid disfigurement and all this kind of shit. Just, being all into that, and then quickly realizing like I wanted to start writing about my weed and my depression, because I was going through a little bit of a depression at the time too. So the song Concentrated Sin off of split we did with Vomit Remnants and Godless Truth, that was like my first time writing, outside of that normal gory death metal thing. I was talking about getting high and realizing that when I died nothing was going to happen. Man. That atheist depression.
Dude. And it's
realizing that,
But that's like, in my opinion, to hear that song from that era of you, like that Anthony singing that song, I think that makes such more of a powerful statement than a song that's about something that you haven't lived or something that you haven't felt.
That's kind of why I was bringing up synesthesia, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or
toot your own horn, dude. This is
it was just like man. I really wanted myself to be in it, so myself is all over that album, dude. The real situations now. There's spoken. There's certain things that are definitely in metaphor, But I think that if you really read, you might be able to figure out certain aspects of maybe even who I'm talking about,
I'll have to pull it out, man, and
I even laugh at Casey and Joel because I hide Easter eggs even for myself in there. Like there's like a Disney reference in there, dude.
Hell yeah.
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
Because
I grew up going to Disneyland every year, and I'm down with Disney, like the Pixar shit too.
Dude,
I love
fuck Disney's the shit, man. Sick. Disney World is. I'm a Disney World-ite because I've had family that used to live in Florida when I was a kid, so I would go to Disney World all the fucking time. And
hell yeah, dude! How far is that from you guys? Like, what kind of flight?
Pretty far.
A flight it's like 2.5, 3 hours, but a drive it's like a 17, 18-hour drive probably.
Yeah, fuck that.
Some shit like that. Well, California is like a fucking 30-something hour drive, and I've done it many a time. That's Warforged. We do well in Cali, and then we drive straight back home.
That's
stupidly enough. But now we have a booking agent. Now we got a booking agent who helps us get back home.
Get some stuff on the way.
So we get stuff on the way back. Hit that Reno.
So the lyrics I want them to be personal for sure.
Yeah, I think
that's fair.
I think
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, writing stories is cool. Like, I'm definitely down. But if I write a story, eventually it's going to end up somehow connecting to me. Still.
Yeah. I've been trying to think of there's been so many innovations with modern bands and metal and modern music, and I think we live in a day and age that bands have become so available. Almost like, you could add your favorite band members on the internet. You could follow them on Instagram, add them on Facebook. And, it's so cool seeing how, these bands, they use their platforms to help, share stuff with, you'll see bands that offer guitar lessons on tour. It's like, oh, you could get a guitar lesson from your favorite guitar player privately. I've been trying to think about I've thought about for Warforged at some point down the road, trying to do writing workshops with people, because I think it could be cool, because I feel like I see these, and I'm not trying to knock it, and it's going to sound like a knock, but I feel like these days I see so many metal lyrics that are it's stuff that's been done before, it's stuff that's been said before, and I'm curious to how many people out there really want to say something different with their songs. And I get it. It's like I feel like metal, obviously the kind of metal that we all play, the music is the main focus. It's a very big focus is the musicianship and, the chops and the skill and the shredding. People love that stuff. And sometimes I think the lyrics become more of an afterthought, but they
definitely do. And unfortunately for me, as somebody who that's really all I can bring to the table is my writing and my voice. So but I never want to be like, dude, you should be reading my lyrics. Like, what the fuck? Why aren't you checking me?
I know, right?
I don't want to push my shit either. I'm just saying, like, whoever you are listening to this right now, if you listen to a band and you don't know what they're talking about, like, you're doing yourself a disservice.
A dishonest,
you're not getting the full experience of the band.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
You might even find out that you're listening to a band that actually holds ideas that you strongly disagree with, and you don't even realize.
Absolutely, and we've seen that all over the metal community.
Like
in the last
National Socialistic black metal. And shit. You just think you're listening to black metal, and then you realize like it's deeply racist.
And anti-Semitic, and it's just like, well, guess you're not listening to Burzum anymore.
So at least then there's me with the Burzum CD and a half Jew. So make sure you're not like fucking giving any money to people like that. So read your lyrics to make sure, dude.
I know, right? And it's
actually a really good point.
It's just like I wonder. I don't know. I'm very curious about that because I feel like lyrics shouldn't. I feel like they should be held in the highest regard with any style of music, just as well as the music.
I mean, it's all part of the art.
Yeah, it's all part of the big picture. And I always thought it would be cool to try something like a writing workshop with people to get ideas flowing. You know, and
totally.
And really,
I mean. It started in poetry for me. Like that was my whole, that was the seed that started my whole entire music thing because it was poetry, then hip hop, doing hip hop, getting into that new metal, rap metal crossover, and then taking off
my language.
Bill loves that.
Totally, dude. That was my exact thing. Was like, I mean, I'm being really young. It was Motown and 50s, 60s stuff that my parents were always listening to. So I had a little bit of that in there. And then you kind of realize, like, listening to the funk, like these rap artists were actually sampling from these funk bands and shit like that. So it's like, oh, wait, I already know that melody because I heard it when I was 5, you know?
Yeah.
But then you get to that rap metal crossover was my bridge. And totally just
so have you done projects outside of like metal at all?
I did. I was in like a rap duo in high school.
Cool.
We had some like bedroom tapes that are totally lost.
What was it called?
With me and Casey. Here's another fun fact.
Casey from Decrepit?
Me and Casey Howard. Not the Casey Howard you know. I've worked with a different Casey Howard previous before Casey Howard, who is my like partner in this rap duo thing.
Nice.
Never really had a name, dude.
Yeah.
I remember I had an even funnier rap group before that called SFP, the Sucka Free Players.
Hell yeah, dude. Sucka Free Players, dude. Were you influenced by Sucka Free Sundays on MTV2?
Well, Sucka Free was San Francisco. That's what we used to
Sucka Free.
Yeah.
That's sick, dude.
Even though I'm fucking from a suburb outside of San Francisco, we were
close enough, right?
Yeah, that's so funny to hear that, man. We get that a lot in Chicago. All these bands from the burbs. We're straight from Chicago.
It's like, no, you're not, dude.
Yeah, you live in Lake Villa, motherfucker. You
go
live
back to Mount
an hour and a half. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yep, totally repping Frisco. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Flatline was like my new rap metal thing. I'd rap all the verses and scream the choruses.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was dude. Like we did some shit with actually some other band called Distratic, which was a Fairfield, California band who actually was like well further ahead than we were at the time. I was only 15. I was the vocalist of that band, 16. And but then we brought Distratic down to Brisbane and did a show with them, and fucking we were like, oh, dude, they're gonna fucking make it. They never did, but I really thought like
they were gonna blow up.
Just from the perspective of a 15-year-old kid who's got a fucking demo tape out.
Yeah,
you see like the band that's already been in it for like a few years. You could see that they're definitely polished.
Yeah, a little more. Yeah,
but it's just inspiration like that.
Yeah.
Going, dude. Like seeing bands that were already down the road that I was trying to catch up to, and then come across Severed Savior, and we were in a fucking, we were in like training without even realizing by going to their rehearsals and seeing how their dynamic as a band was, how they played, and dude.
Yeah,
but I still love the hip hop shit. I wish to be honest, I do have a beat machine. I'd love to start making beats again, but it's the slices of life, dude. That slice of time I don't have right now.
To really put towards it. Yeah, I hear you, man.
This technically, instead of doing this podcast, I could have been making beats, but
yeah, sorry.
No. I'm just saying that as a joke,
slowing that dream down for you.
Well, tell me what's going on. So you guys put out Synesthesia. You guys are working on another record now?
Yeah, dude. That was on one of the benefits of the pandemic for Casey. It was that he was able to be at home and really focus on writing. So
okay.
And he just hit it hard, dude. And
nice.
Now we got 10. But I mean, obviously, some of the songs we got 10 new tracks.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's another full length, dude. And it's actually, it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Casey is a fucking madman, dude.
That's awesome.
And the people that we have writing some stuff with us, like Carrie from Son of Aurelius.
Yeah, wild. That's awesome.
He's going to be doing some more solo work on it. Like he did a guest solo on one of the songs on Synesthesia, and we have an undisclosed person that we will disclose eventually that is helping us get this done as well.
Can you disclose it when we're done talking on air?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Yeah,
we'll disclose secrets then, because I'll tell you some secrets. We got secrets.
Show secrets.
And, but did me on vocals, Joel on bass, Casey on drums.
Awesome. Cannot fucking wait, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's gonna be sick. Is Severed still doing shit, man?
I keep talking to Mike. He's been he just got he told me he got a new guitar, so it sounds like he's starting to think about get some speed, get back up to speed, but he's also a busy dude.
Of course.
Troy's helping a dude he's running a business, another automotive business actually in Foster City, California, I think.
These guys with the car game, man.
I know, dude. Well, my dad was the one who got me into it. I've been working for my pop since I was 12.
Nice.
Yeah, my girlfriend's family's big into automotive work. Like my girlfriend's dad manages an auto body shop, so
it's not really what I had in mind, but it definitely pays the bills. And,
shit, man.
Something that I can, again, do other things while I'm doing it,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it was just working for Pops my whole life, dude. And,
fuck yeah.
And
I know how that goes.
Yeah, Bill works with his dad.
Been working with my dad since I was.
I actually, out of high school, I was going to try and become an audio engineer.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And there was a school in San Francisco called California Recording Institute, and it was a 2-year program. It was like $25,000 for the 2 years, but I had to do my general education at Skyline College near me before I could go in. And while I was at college, that school went belly up because somebody was embezzling money or whatever.
Shit.
So I went like halfway through my second year. I went 1 year, and then on my third semester, I just said, what am I going to do? So I was like, fuck, well, all these other schools in the Bay Area are twice the money, and you're only doing it for like 18 months. So it was just financially, it started to become more out of range. So I just started working for Pops until I could figure out what I was going to do. And boom, here I am. Fucking 37 years old, 3 kids, still in Pacifica, dude. So
hell yeah.
But I could still make music. Working for Pops made it to where I was like able to do those touring that I did. I mean, it's not really worth it now for me having 3 kids.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine how a tour would work and having 3 children.
Oh, dude. Well,
that is wild.
I missed 1 month of my oldest's life, 9 months to 10 months for the Severed tour. And there was a big difference just from that month, So I was like, I'm coming back even technically out of pocket because I didn't work that whole month.
Yeah.
But even, I didn't spend money to go out on that tour, but still it's like, dude, and I missed. Now he's climbing up the stairs, Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. But you got to do it. Yeah, and I'm still open for like festival dates or like, dude, it'd be sick. In a perfect
kids
world,
grow up eventually, dude.
Dude, that's what's up. Dude.
Those little kids are gonna be big kids one day.
Hit the road again, dude.
Yeah, man. Fucking come.
But no, like setting up like mini vacations. Like if it would be too much money, like do a festival spot here and then take the kids somewhere vacation spot near there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you fucking
shit, dude.
Chilling out.
I'm chilling. Well, I'm chilling out. I got to do some shit before I go to that show. I'm trying to think. Like, it's only 2:05 here. I still got time.
We're keeping you?
Yeah. No, you're not keeping me. I'm just trying to figure out the rest of my day because I got to do some like fucking yard work and shit like that before I go out.
Yeah.
Do the dad thing. I got dad and husband thing.
Yeah. Shit, me and Bill don't got to worry about.
I'm so fucking excited for tonight though, dude, because it's my first live show since the pandemic.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh wow.
My last show was Phobia and some other local bands playing in my hometown. Actually, it's funny. Relapse crime band Phobia.
All right. Oh yeah. I know Phobia.
Yeah, dude. So they started they were on tour, and just so happened that Winter's Tavern, which is where we started that Severed tour at, was a spot that they were playing, and Joel and I went there, and then boom, lockdown was like, I don't know, a couple days later or some shit.
I saw Beneath the Massacre right before the fucking lockdown. They played at this bar this venue in the burbs called the West Chicago Social Club, and it was that Origin Defeated Sanity Beneath the Massacre show. And I got a couple bottles of the Defeated Sanity hand sanitizer. Yeah. The Defeated
sanitizer. I have one too. Dude, I got strapped to my bag. Dude,
I got 3 of them, and I'm saving one. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to flip it on eBay 15 years from now. When the pandemic is an afterthought. I bet you I can make $1,000 off of that thing, dude.
It probably would make some money. Yeah.
I wonder how much.
It's actually my favorite smelling hand sanitizer.
It does smell good. I regret not buying more, but I'm glad I bought 3 of them at the show. Yeah, because they didn't limit me, and I was like, man, I kind of want to buy 10 of them, but I was like, I'll just get 3.
Get a case.
I love little like
knickknacks like that.
Quirky little creative things like
so sick.
Defeated sanitizer.
Yeah, so funny, dude. So sick. Yeah, that was the last show, literally, and then the next week the lockdowns happened in Chicago, so. You're going to have a blast tonight. Are any of the Cali Death dudes going to be at the show?
Joel's coming. Joseph's coming.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. We might even do like a little Cali Death on the Scene thing with Nate because he's playing.
Dude, you should, man.
Hell yeah.
I always thought that would be kind of a cool thing. Not dude, like
bust out your phone and just take a fucking video.
That's what's up, dude. I think that's what we're going to do. Just like, I mean, we're going to be bullshitting and hanging out anyway. So it's like, let's get a quick 5 minutes in.
Yeah, right all 4 of you, do all you guys smoke weed?
Oh,
dude, you guys should do like a blunt rotation on the Scene fucking segment, dude, where you rotate the blunt and just fucking share a story. I just got some good
gelato yesterday. Nice. I got some fucking wedding cake. It's all desserts now, dude.
Yeah, gelato. I got some gelato the other day too, actually, and I got some. My favorite from what I get is a strain called Rainbow Jones.
Rainbow Jones.
Yeah, that's definitely my MO. So I got some gelato and some Rainbow Jones waiting for me at home. I decided I wasn't going to get super fucked up for this show. Plus, it's early in the day for us here. Earlier in the day.
I know. This is actually the first time I haven't. Well, I did that month where I wasn't drinking on the podcast, but the last few I've been drinking again. But
I know, I love it, man. Dude, I love that episode with you and Dan Kenny, and you guys are both fucked up at the end, just like blowing down. It's the most fun, dude. That's like that might be my favorite Cali Death episode, just because of your guys' friendship. It's so sick to see that, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And if it wasn't for him, dude, we definitely both of us helped each other get in and fucking get busy.
Yeah.
And discovering music with another person that's you're so close with.
Oh, it's such a big connection.
We had, there was, when there's no girlfriends, you're still hanging out with your homie, you know? It's like, and so he was technically like my boyfriend at that time. And we fucking would just listen to death metal all the time. I'd sit in his garage, dude, and I'd just pack bowls. We drink beers,
rip it
smoke
up,
cigarettes. Fucking, I'm not smoking cigarettes anymore. He still is, but
good for you, man.
And, dude, quit the. I'm chewing on nicotine gum right now. I never stopped doing that shit.
You quit cigarettes cold turkey, didn't you, Bill?
Yeah, years ago.
When I first joined,
probably the best way to do it, dude, because you're not chewing on nicotine gum.
You quit within the first year I joined the band, because when I joined, you were still smoking a little bit, but then you stopped.
Even then, I barely.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
And I'm not a vocalist, so
that was actually one thing that helped me a lot too. Is that the cigarettes was one of the big things that was holding me back. That I was kind of like being in denial about when I was a smoker as a death metal vocalist. But as soon as I quit smoking the cigarettes, my like stamina and longevity, all that kind of shit went right up. Dude.
Yeah. I was the same with Danny when he goes on and off of cigarettes.
Sometimes he doesn't hit too hard with cigarettes. But
it's been a while.
And weed doesn't really bother me that bad. Actually, sometimes it enhances.
Yeah.
It has to be the right time. Like taking a couple of puffs before I record actually causes some phlegm thing to happen, or maybe some shit's getting more lubricated than normal.
Yeah, man. I've not experimented with weed in the studio yet, but I'm planning on it for the next album I got to do. So I'm going to see if it either helps or makes it way worse, but hopefully it helps. But
dude, that's cool that you're down with the show, dude. I'm down that people are down, and I'm happy that there's enough people out there. I mean, you find out really like what our like community really likes to listen to, and it's definitely, obviously, since it's called Cali Death, like the Cali Death episodes always are hits and shit. But
I will admit, I feel like my favorite parts of the show now are definitely more of the podcasting type moments rather than the death metal moments these days, just because it's so like I've been watching it for so long now, and maybe it's because I do a podcast, but it's so fun. I love listening to your guys like tangents and shit when you guys just stop talking about death metal and talk about all kinds of shit.
That's like, the real shit.
Yeah, that's the shit that I love on your show.
I do love getting in the weeds, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Getting into the weeds is my favorite, dude, and that's why we have Joseph, and maybe even Joel sometimes pulls me out of it. Joel can even see me probably get way deep out there and like, all right, we need to pull on Anthony's leash a little bit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Jeez.
But I like to watch Casey be like, here we go again when like new metal comes up, or fucking Insane Clown Posse.
Does he hate that shit?
No, he doesn't hate it, but he
just knows he's gonna go off.
Oh yeah.
He was like a grunge kid, so the new metal stuff just doesn't really like, he wasn't really into it when it was a thing.
Dude, I know Casey the least out of all of you guys now, probably, but I want to get him on the show so bad solo.
Do it,
just because I want to there needs to be a podcast where that dude's talking for like 2 hours uninterrupted.
Casey's got stories, dude.
I just want to talk to, I have a lot of personal shit I would love to tell Casey about the first time I saw Decrepit Birth. I need to gush to him a little bit because like
there you go.
He dude, the first time I saw him, he was warming up with drum gloves on, and I was like, oh yeah, of course he is, because he's good as fuck. That's why he's doing that. And like it was a story for when he's on, but like dude,
totally do the drummer nerd out and just fucking
he's just like in the album, the Decrepit albums he was on were the Decrepit albums that like really resonated with me. Polarity and Diminishing Between Worlds, and it was just like oh fuck, like cool. Like that was at a time where I feel like death metal was at its most exciting for me in my life.
It was definitely getting exciting, and just being in that, you kind of have a little bit of a blinder on. You don't realize, like, because I can sit outside of it as the vocalist and just say I'm with these musicians that are coming up with shit that is pretty fucking innovative, but you don't really like get to the point of like, oh, this is just going to be changing the game. Everybody's just like, it was kind of like a healthy, we got to one up each other all the time. Like, Odious, goes from devouring to fucking
cryptic implosion. Yeah.
There's a reason why there's that change, because we wanted to stay in the race, Well,
that's when I got onto Odious, was when Cryptic Implosion was out. That was the current album out at the time when I discovered you guys on MySpace, and I dove right into it at first, and I was like, yep, another insanely sick band from California, just killing it. Like,
and working with Zach Owen is fucking.
Oh, he's like the guy. Awesome, if you're in a fucking California death metal and you haven't fucked with Zach Warren, like you gotta. He's got the signature style for that shit, man.
And at the time, dude, you have to understand that no tech death was recording with him. He hadn't recorded any technical death metal before Odious Mortem. He was doing more like metalcore and Animosity and hardcore type bands and shit like that. And I had heard Animosity, and I had heard As Blood Runs Black. Their record, I forget what that record's called, but
Allegiance, I think.
The first one with the green cover or whatever. Yeah. so I had heard those 2 records and I was like, oh, dude, we need to fuck this guy for the album. And then we just booked with him and fucking Cryptic became a thing. And then Decrepit heard that, decided they wanted to go to Zach. And then it started, everybody wanted to start going with Zach. And then boom. Zach's fucking
he was
Machine Head and shit now.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. I mean, he was like the in-house producer, it seemed like, for Unique Leader at a certain point, like in the early 2010s. Like
everybody's
it's like the Cali Death version of Scott Burns.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cali Death version of Scott Burns.
It was like Zach was he did the Zenith Passage record. I think he did some Fallujah stuff. I believe he did. I know he's done a bunch of Inanimate Existences records. Like he did the first Wrath album. Like he's done a bunch of shit for Archaic. I think he did that Archaic record. What the heck? That's the hat.
He mixed and mastered a Suffo record.
Yeah. He did Blood Oath, I think.
Blood Oath, yeah.
Yeah. So he's he's definitely filled out his resume with a lot of good shit.
He's gonna come on pretty soon. We're gonna be having him on because that's definitely I mean, to expand it, like we've tried, other different things, like, having just a straight podcaster on. We had Joel Cupcake, which actually super fucking sick episode. That dude's awesome.
Yeah.
But learning your community and what people are all about, those numbers aren't as high. But I think that Zach Owring, being the producer and engineer that he is, should bring some fucking
listeners,
people listen, watch, because they need to hear that guy talk about his history.
Absolutely.
He has a massive catalog that nobody probably realizes how much of the shit they love he fucking was involved in,
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
So props to fucking Zach, dude. Props to fucking Zach always, dude. And working with him was fucking great because it's not there's no bullshit. Like he'll be honest with you. That wasn't that good of a take. You can do it better.
Yeah. Well, that's good from a production
that type
standpoint.
Yeah, and he's not, obviously not being a dick about it, but I just like I like honesty, because you can get the way you perceive how you are recording can get muddied if you're in there for hours, So to have an honest, trained ear and somebody who really knows what the fuck they're doing, it makes you feel good in those situations.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm very, very pumped to hear another Odious record, hopefully sooner than later, dude.
So am I, dude.
Don't make me wait 8 years, dude. Don't do this to me.
No, it won't be like that again. And the reason why it won't happen like that again is because that happened, being away from it that long and then doing synesthesia and getting back in the game. Podcast is going it's rolling too hard for us to not, capitalize on that.
I feel like the podcast has made death metal more prevalent in it's probably had made more death metal has to have been more relevant in your lives now, I would assume, especially because
it has brought metal much more back into my life, you know? And that also was, I don't know if you guys had this, but during the pandemic, I did a lot of recombing over shit, and I talked about it on the Derek Roddy episode too. It's just like I almost made myself get back into death metal and go back in time and come back forward and find everything that I thought that I should have listened to, and those types of projects. I think nostalgia in general kind of happened for me. I don't know if this happened for you guys, but I kind of went back to my childhood interests during the pandemic as well.
Interesting.
Magic tricks with cards and fucking
shit, man.
Pirate coins and fucking all these things that I used to, knives and shit. I used to go collect knives and so it's and my wife too, she's into dressing up our daughter, so it's doing it's just
nice.
Dealing with dolls, but you're an adult. You have an actual human being that
now you got a fucking doll. Put this shit on.
So it's we kind of are reliving our childhood through an adult perspective.
That's so wild, man. I don't think I've noticed myself doing that, but I don't know. I've been playing Pokemon games.
There you go.
I played a lot of video games over the pandemic.
So what style did you go back to? An older style of video game during the pandemic?
Are you
always been down with the classics.
Oh no, I've always been down with the classics. I mean, I'm 29, so like when I entered the foray,
you guys are this young. Bill, how old are you?
I'm 30. I just turned 37.
Oh, okay, so you're right. Yeah, we're the same
age.
A child. Yeah,
he's a baby.
I'm a child, dude. I'm a fucking
you and Joseph are in that same.
Yeah, we are the same age. So like, I think Joseph's 29, right? I think he is.
I think he might be 30 now, but
okay, yeah.
I think he just had his 30th birthday.
Well, shit. Happy birthday, Joseph.
Yeah, it was recently. He missed an episode for it because he went and camped.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Anyway, what were you just saying? What was I just talking about?
Video games.
We're talking about video games, classic games and shit.
When I got into video games, it was my first console was PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my first thing. But I love Super Nintendo. I love NES. Like, I'm a big Nintendo fan. That's kind of my MO. And
PlayStation really fucking changed the game for me. I was down with Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. I had all those consoles for sure.
Oh yeah.
The PlayStation was when I really like got into it.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Tony
I have
Hawk
them
Pro
all.
Skater. Yeah.
Dude, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Tony Hawk Underground. Fucking, I even have American Wasteland.
Yeah,
not a good game, but it's
it's not that.
It's right.
And it's got to be just like you're from California. Is it just like it, dude? It's fucking American Wasteland, just like California, dude.
Isn't there like some Santa Cruz area?
Yeah, there's a Santa Cruz or Santa Monica Pier. Like, do you remember like the marketing for American Wasteland? It was supposed to be advertised as a game that had no loading screens. So every level was supposed to connect by like you would go in like a tunnel and go to the next level. But like if I played it on the OG Xbox, the original Xbox, and I remember when I would go through, it was a pretty long and laggy ass dropping frame rate tunnel, dude. It was basically a fucking loading screen, and I was just like, "What
loading
the fuck
screen
is
you
this?
can play?" Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I can move around to this loading screen.
That was on PS2, right? Or was it one?
It was PS2.
PS3 was Project 8, right?
Yes, Project 8 was after American Wasteland, and I don't think I ever played Project 8.
I actually
but At the
enjoyed
Gates was
that
on the
one.
soundtrack, dude.
Sick.
Slaughter of the Soul, I think, was on that. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, In Flames is on Underground.
Nice.
Yeah, and Lamb of God's on Underground 2, I believe. Black Label is on that. Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Underground, but I remember beating that one and being stoked. I was listening to like Animosity, Shut It Down. I would actually turn off the soundtrack and I'd listen to my own.
That's so sick, man. Fuck, dude. I wish I even knew who Animosity was when that game came out, but I didn't.
Dude, the first time I saw them, they were like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Awesome.
That's so nuts, dude.
Just fucking pummeling, dude. Even at that age, dude. They knew how to control a crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they're like even in Chicago, that band is like legendary.
Oh yeah.
Like people still
Leo
talk
as a front man is a fucking he's a legend, dude.
It's
people
funny, you guys
all over Chicago still
talked
about that band.
Knights of the Columbus on your episode, and that was like one of the most infamous like
venues,
Animosity shows. Like,
it was,
and I was there, and it was fucking nuts. It was packed wall to wall. Like, you know, the stage, I'm throwing up air quotes, you know, the corner. Like they had like maybe 3 feet to themselves because like everybody just was like on top of them. Leo was just in the fucking crowd most of the time and like foot going through the fucking drop ceiling and shit. And like their stacks were getting like knocked over. Tom was like holding up one of the stacks.
Whoa.
Like
that's
it was
like
insane.
The energy they bring, dude.
Oh, dude, it was such a fucking party. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Dude. And that would happen for us frequently at the Pound, dude. It's just fucking.
Oh, I'm sure that had to be so sick to see that band like grow up, dude.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
go from Shut It Down to Empires, and you're like, wait, what? Fucking. That's the same transition of like first album to second album. Like the scene was causing that for everybody, dude. Same thing with Decrepit. They took a different route, bringing in more melody and progressive influences, and it just like something happened, something changed in the water, dude. At that time, where it was maybe it was a collective thing, like everybody was seeing how dope everybody was getting, and it was making you inspired to be dope.
Well, which is exciting, you know. I mean, even if that is it's like that's a healthy competition, you know. It's just like an aspiration to create something really cool, and I think that's exciting, man. I wish there was more of that around Chicago. There's some.
Yeah, it's small.
It's very divisive, I feel like here. Death metal especially, man.
Yeah.
Like the death metal scene is all over the place, and I don't really see too much of like, I mean, there is unity in it, but like not a ton. And like,
it's more like, we just have groups of people that are all different in music, and we're all in a group together. You know, like, like even at our show, we have friends from like all these other bands that aren't.
It's like bands. Our best friends, the bands that are in like, you know, best friends that are people in other bands. They're like bands that sound nothing like us, you know?
It's weird like how that works.
It's just like, I mean, there'll be metal bands, but like they might not be tech death bands or death metal bands even at all, you know? And it's just like funny how it works out.
And that's kind of like how our community works. Like, it's not really genre based.
But it's cool though. It's cool though that way. I think
it's fun. You
get so much like different variety, but it's like, dude, I mean, I remember just like growing up and like looking at all these sick bands from California and just being like, damn, man.
Like one after another.
Like, fuck, like, wish I was from doing over there. Like, and it's all good quality shit. Like, man.
Yeah, dude. Like I said earlier, I'm blessed and fortunate to have come across all these musicians because I have them let me put my voice over their fucking music,
dude, you're a beast, man. You on that fucking Deeds of Flesh song on Nucleus? So sick.
Yeah, dude, just popped in and out real quick.
Yeah.
Here I am later.
Yeah, I love it.
That was actually like, I'm underneath a couple of Jacoby's lines too, but I think it kind of got lost in the mix a little bit. But
still, how sick was that to be on a song with that?
Dude, they hit me up and it was like within 30 seconds, I'm like, yeah, I'm in, dude, of course. Like, I'm not going to ever say no to being on a Deeds of Flesh record.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Talking about going back in time and talking to yourself like, hey, dude, in a few years, you're going to be on the new Deeds of Flesh record.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
They haven't done anything in how many years? And like,
dude, I'm so glad it happened, man. I'm just so fucking glad it happened because that band deserved that record. And
I like the idea of bringing in all those vocalists, you know, to, fill the.
Me too.
It doesn't fill the void of Eric being missing, but it's like it's a really good tribute, and the choices of guest musicians aside from myself. I mean, I'm definitely friends with Eric. I've toured with those guys. I'm really close with Deeds of Flesh in general, but there is still like a deeper connection with the older scene,
of course,
and all the getting Corpse Grinder and John Gallagher and
Luke LeMay and fucking
Luke LeMay, like all
Frank
those
Mullen and shit. Yeah, dude,
those
big
were all
names.
They were picked specifically because those were actually Eric's favorite vocalists.
Yeah.
So it's like they didn't just get those guys randomly together. Those were strategically picked because those were Eric's heroes. So it's like,
which is awesome.
It's a group of heroes and homies. You know?
Which is it's so cool, man. And I'm a big fan. Like, I think one of my favorite parts of hip hop is all the features, is all these features that you'll see on songs and like getting two of these different flavors.
Cut.
Yeah. And you get two flavors that like cut into one, and I think that's so cool when metal bands go that route. And like Warforged, our album, we have a shitload of guest musicians on
awesome.
it. And we just did it because we wanted to, we're like, let's have all these different flavors thrown in, like all these different voices. Cause it
definitely inspired Odious
cooler.
too with this new record. We've been talking about having some cool guests, things and unexpected things that'll happen throughout the album for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's just so cool to see that. And like, because I see some people I think can view it with metal sometimes as it being too much or it being overboard, and it's like, well, I just want to hear the band. And it's like, well, you get to hear this band create art with other people, and you'll never get to hear that again.
Right.
So why don't you just accept it for what it is and like try it,
Like adding a different seasoning on a dish,
It's like Deeds of Flesh is such a big band in my life, and I've loved them so much. And I mean, after Portals was out for so long and, Eric was getting sick and you didn't hear a lot of word about them, like, I was never expecting to hear another Deeds of Flesh record, but here I am. I get one, but not only do I get one that's like possibly my favorite album by them now because it's so
really
good.
Sick, dude.
It's so good, dude. It's crazy. And personally, I'm not talking smack. I'm not even a big Darren Seska fan as a drummer, but he sounds like a beast on that record.
Yeah,
that's the one thing he's on where I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get behind this. But I am very, very, very pumped that Mike Hamilton is back because in my eye, he is the king of all kings.
Hell yeah,
with Derek
dude. When I heard he was back, dude, I was like, fuck, yeah, Jacoby's back too. See, that's the thing, dude. It's like, I'm seeing like a resurgence of like all the old homies are bringing it back and getting more inspired to do things again. You know, it's like you can only be away from it for so long before it ends up pulling you back in.
Yeah, and I think it's cool, and I hope that one positive from the pandemic gave a lot of these musicians time to reflect and realize that you know, maybe there is more for them to have said, you know, artistically speaking, than just, you know, hanging up your career when you still have a lot that's left there. You know, I think it's inspiring to see that shit. And, you know, you don't have to tour or be like a band that goes out on the road all the time to still be an awesome and successful musician. Yeah. You know?
It just shows you how much time we lose to like the fucking grind of it all.
Yeah.
You know, and life happens. And, but yeah, when everything kind of got slowed down, I think that kind of gave the opportunity for a lot of people, which is great, you know?
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's so.
I was saying in the beginning, I was excited for 2022 because of all the cool shit that's being created.
Yeah, man. And for real, dude. Like, I already know of a bunch of plans in 2022 that are going to be so sick. So, including new Warforged. So, keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, dude. So we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we should. I was going to say we got you for probably like 2 minutes.
I'm bummed that you guys didn't get to have your rap and hip hop talk though.
That's okay.
Oh, it's chill. Dude.
I was like waiting for that.
To be honest, dude, I'd much rather talk about David Lynch. So.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. So
very cool.
Hell yeah, man.
So we got plenty of that in there.
Yeah, dude. This was great.
Yeah, dude, let's do a Roman Ring episode soon, dude.
Hit me up whenever. I'll get in touch with Danny and we'll make it happen. Absolutely.
Most definitely,
dude. We would love to do that.
And I'd love to come back on.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to, like I said, I want to get Joel on next. So tell Joel tonight if you see him to expect.
He actually texted me during this.
Dude, hit me up and tell him that I'll be hitting him up soon and trying to get a date locked in with him soon. So.
Yeah, and
to get him on.
I'll see him tonight.
Yeah, and I want to get Joe on, and I want to get Joseph on again because we're going to talk about video games, and I want to get Casey on, and then like I said, we got to have like a combined episode where we get all you guys and us on this show, and we just do.
I mean, you know, we can handle
all day. Yeah, dude, well, let's do it, man.
Fuck yeah,
it'll be sick,
dude. But Bill, it was awesome meeting you, dude.
Oh, likewise, Anthony. It was great.
Yeah, this is killer, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Yeah. This is so much fun, and this was a great episode.
Dude, this is a fuck yeah, dude. I'm glad it was. I had a great time.
Fucking Wi-Fi worked. Like,
everything worked out perfectly. We have such a bad history
of like us having to troubleshoot shit so much, but we deliberately were like we met up too early, but we decided to meet up early to try and troubleshoot this because I was like, all right, at least we can make sure we don't have to have because like when we had Joe on the show, we had to have him wait for a bit to get a bunch of shit set up, and we both felt so bad, and we're like. All right, we came here. Everything worked. Knock on wood, and
we got to watch Live.
When unforeseeable technical difficulties happen. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's just the fucking.
It's the nature of the beast. Yeah.
So yeah, is the end? So anything you want to plug?
Yeah,
like what all projects are you doing, or is there anything cool that people need to know about?
Cali Death Podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that shit. Google it if you can't find it, but it's there. Instagram, same thing at Cali Death Podcast. CaliDeath.com is a thing that Joseph does periodically where he's kind of compiling information for a possible book in the near future. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, dude. Odious, Mortem. I don't know if anybody's selling our merchandise, but if you find our merchandise, go buy it to support us.
Yeah. I think Willowtip's got some stuff.
Do some advertising for us.
Dude, I've definitely seen some Synesthesia merch on Willowtip's Bandcamp, so I think you can find it there.
Cool. And then, hit up Mike Gilbert and ask him to fucking make some new Severed Savior music.
Yo, I will. Right after this, dude.
So we can fucking get down with that shit. But yeah, dude. And I'm really happy to be here, and I'm glad that you guys fucking are doing this shit. You guys are an awesome podcast.
Dude, fuck yeah, man.
I'm going to be plugging the shit out of it on the next episode. And if everything happens, I don't want to jinx it, but if everything happens right, you'll definitely want to plug on that episode, dude.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it again off the air right now.
Sick. All right. Yeah, let's do it, man.
What are you plugging?
I want to plug that game I plugged earlier. Anton Ball Deluxe is coming to Switch on the 28th. So pick that shit up on the eShop. I think it's also on Steam if you play PC, but
nice.
Looks like a cool game. Check it out.
Shout out Riley McShane.
Yeah,
dude.
Riley McShane. And at least his Twitter handle is Steve Tom Sawyer, who's the other guy that's involved with them, and he's a really
and then I think his Insta's like Full Metal Vocalist or something.
Yeah,
nice.
Different name for everything.
But anyway, I want to plug the New Rivers album, The Work. If you haven't heard the New Rivers of Nile record, go pick it up. It's one of the best albums, metal records you could probably listen to at this day and age. It's very creative, very explorative, and it's really a big milestone for them. I feel like. I think it's awesome.
Good for them, man.
Yeah, so check that shit out. And otherwise, I think that's it. Other than the Cali Death podcast, obviously, check that shit out if you haven't. But I've plugged that so much on the show already. So
at this point, if nobody's listening from our show, you guys are failing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
Yeah,
come hang out with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's
at least come watch the Warforged episode.
Yeah, watch the Warforged episode. That was a fun one.
Hell yeah.
What about you? You got anything?
Same old shit. Something is waiting. Roman Ring.
Yeah. Buy merch.
Buy some merch.
Damn it.
Check out the live video from our show at the Empty Bottle. That's on YouTube.
Yeah, that one's cool. Our whole set is on there. So yeah, that's all we got.
Fuck yeah, guys.
All right. Well, sick.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah. Take it easy, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Feel free to drop us a like or a comment on whatever platform you listen or watch us on. Share us on whatever social media you use. Every little bit counts, so we appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week.